broke the law by crossing into the U.S.
The lawsuit accuses Texas of violating the U.S. government's authority over immigration enforcement. Under the Texas law, migrants could either agree to a Texas judge's order to leave the U.S. or be prosecuted on misdemeanor charges of illegal entry. Migrants who don't leave could face arrest again under more serious felony charges. The lawsuit asks a court in Austin to declare the Texas law unconstitutional, alleging that it would frustrate immigration operations and interfere with the federal government's right to regulate foreign commerce. The new law is set to take effect in March. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Iran says twin bombings that it blames on Israel and the U.S. killed 84 people. The explosions occurred during a ceremony commemorating the 4th anniversary of the death of General Qassem Soleimani, killed by a U.S. drone attack. An airstrike in central Baghdad has killed an Iran-backed militia leaders as Mideast tensions escalate.
Militia officials announced that its head of operations in Baghdad, Mushtaq Taleb al-Saidi, had been killed. The militia group is a coalition of militias that is nominally under the control of the Iraqi military and is known as the Popular Mobilization Force. The group blames the attack on what they called brutal American aggression. Officials with the U.S. military and embassy in Baghdad did not immediately respond to requests for comment. I'm Karen Chamas.
Unemployment applications fell to 202,000 last week, down from 220,000 the week before. On Wall Street, the Dow futures up 103 points. NASDAQ futures down 67 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-355-4107 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-355-4107. That's 800-355-4107. What do you have to lose? Call 800-355-4107. Again, 800-355-4107.
China is condemning the ongoing fighting next door in Myanmar after errant artillery shells wounded 5 people in China.
Video circulated by China's state media starting on Wednesday shows a man who appears to have been injured lying on the street while others shout for someone to call the police. The video was reportedly filmed in Nansan, a small Chinese town very close to Myanmar, where China says 5 people were injured. Just on the other side of the border, Myanmar's ruling junta has been engaged in fierce battles with an alliance of rebel groups.
The BBC's Celia Hatton. A South Korean hospital says country's main opposition leader is recovering well from surgery after being stabbed in the neck during a public appearance earlier in the week. Lee Jae-myung was stabbed by a knife-wielding man who approached him asking for his autograph. It happened on Tuesday. News and analysis at townhall.com. Tourists will no longer be able to buy souvenirs and other items from vendors on the world-famous Brooklyn Bridge or, for that matter, on any other New York City bridge.
Just before Mayor Eric Adams had the vendors evicted, he defended the move.
It's a public safety issue. People were jumping over the bridge onto the bike path because we came to a blockage.
The Brooklyn Bridge's elevated pedestrian walkway had become overrun with vendors. $1. Add in tourists, and New Yorkers like Robert Fernandez were jockeying for space.
I have to stop and try to maneuver to get around people.
But there was still a small bottleneck when the ban went into effect. The cause? Tourists taking pictures in front of the no vending signs. Julie Walker, New York.
Flu season has more U.S. hospitals going back to requiring masks and limiting visitors. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Not raining yet.
Not yet, but we've hit that real, weird box of chocolates time of year where it's like you never know what kind of morning you're going to get.
Yeah.
Either the sun's going to be up, blue skies and shiny, or it's still nighttime.
Right.
I should still be sleeping right now. I don't see no sun. So my reasoning is we should go ahead and go back home.
And we're still on technically the holiday break with the kids.
Right.
So that makes it feel a little off.
Did I hear right? Do they not go back until Tuesday?
Yeah. They got the in-service day for the teachers Monday. And then Tuesday is the kids' first day back.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. I'm not here to argue. I understand that there's a teacher actively listening to this show right now, so go teachers.
I'm betting that one isn't.
Probably not right now.
Yeah, right.
There's a couple more that might.
She was staring at the back of her eyelids last I saw her. So, but happy Thursday. Yeah, it does feel weird. I don't know. Like yesterday, they were talking like it was supposed to rain like tonight, and then like last night, and then this morning, and all that. Now I looked this morning, and it's like, yeah, it's gonna be like after 5 today, but like before 8. So from like 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Hey, we're in a holding pattern, all right?
We're gonna get rain.
That's right.
But could see fog and everything tonight too. So we're not done with moisture, but I feel like we're getting like the rest of the state's getting like winter storms and stuff, and we're just kind of getting the leftover piddling moisture that it escapes from the north kind of thing.
Right.
So we'll see. But I'm not feeling too optimistic on getting good rain today.
Yeah, we're not going to get a whole lot of moisture, and if we do, it'll fall for like 20 seconds like it always does, pour down, and then we're done.
Just enough to fog everything up and, have to use your defroster and all that. And then it's all over with. So, but happy Thursday.
Yes.
Happy weather Thursday. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I got my mouth all worked up for some rain. Ain't no rain going on here,
Stick your tongue out and shut up.
By the way, that is my favorite line from the movie Harlem Nights.
That is great.
The scene in the movie is Della Reese and Red Fox. They're in the apartment, and Della Reese is in the kitchen. I have to clean it up a little bit for the language for the radio.
Just a bit.
Yeah. But Della Reese, she goes, her husband is Red Fox. He's like, Red? I don't remember his character's name. She goes, I wanted some orange juice, and you done drank the orange juice and left but a swallow in the container. And Red Fox, she goes, I got my mouth all worked up for some juice, and you done leave me none but a swallow
there
in
ain't
the
nothing left
container.
but a swallow in there.
Well, Red Fox goes, well, swallow it and shut the blank up.
Shut up.
It is the funniest line to me.
That's great.
It just years later, I still crack up. Like there's a couple lines of it. That one, the European Vacation about the Coke in the can. That one.
It's funny. It's funny what your brain chooses to remember from certain things. Like the fact that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember this, but I remember the plot from a specific episode of Family Matters.
Yeah.
Where Carl Winslow murders his entire. It's like a dream sequence where he murders his entire family because somebody left milk. A jug of milk in the fridge with only this much left in it, and it just set him off. That was the one bruise on the peach that didn't need to get hit.
Yeah, those are the little things that just, create the avalanche. But that line that always gets me. There's another line that makes me laugh from that movie every time, too. It's when the boxer, they're at the nightclub, and they're hanging out, and the boxer's, all right, champ, how you going to do, and all that. And then the night ends, and Richard Pryor and the boxer are standing out in the street corner. The boxer has a stuttering problem, and he's trying to hail a taxi. And he's sitting there on the street side, putting his finger up and going, finally Richard Pryor looks at him and goes, taxi. Here you go, brother. Helps him get some.
Here you go, brother.
He gets him a cab. He's like,
thanks, sir. That's great.
Oh, man.
Harlem Nights. Who knew? Sleeper hit.
I haven't seen a movie in years. It's a good one. It's a good one. I mean, it's got an all-star cast.
Right.
I mean, geez, it was like who's who of comedy in that 80s, 90s period.
I stumbled onto a documentary recently, and it came out, I think, in 2017, but it's called Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever see this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Gollum and Globus.
Yeah.
The two-man, producer team that are responsible for, Break-In, Break-In 2, Electric Boogaloo. What was that one? Oh, doggone. Sidekicks. Yeah. Basically, the entirety of Chuck Norris's career was as a result of these two dudes.
Chuck Norris's, ancillary movies. Not like his Soldier of Fortune movies, but
I'm pretty sure they did Soldier of Fortune.
Really? I thought they did his more family comedy.
They did that one. They did Sidekicks. They did they did a ton of them.
The ones that were more family movies, not action movies.
I want to go back and rewatch it because I watched it a month ago. Yeah. But it's mind-blowing how they pulled this off. Because the story basically is these guys came up with these movies, went to Cannes, to Cannes Film Festival, sold it as, got all these investors based on, we've got, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, who's signed on for this picture, and then they would just go make it with Chuck Norris instead. And that's how you get all these amazing movies that were basically your childhood.
Well, it just proves that all those Chuck Norris lines are real. It's it's Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris made his career appear from thin air.
Chuck said he wanted sidekicks. Chuck gets sidekicks. I wonder if he's doing okay, because I haven't seen a Chuck Norris related thing in a while.
I gotta imagine
I hope he's doing
fine.
all right. Even in his 90s, you're still seeing him, or however old he is now.
Yeah,
he's up there.
He's definitely
he's doing those last time I saw he was doing Bowflex or one of those kind of, and he still look good.
He's 83 years old, and he looks. He looks like he's in his mid to late 40s.
He does. He's an enigma.
That's astonishing.
He's
he looks like he looks like Bryan Danielson, who's a professional wrestler, but also just an actor and stuff.
Him and Cher.
And yeah,
him and Cher have some kind of regime.
It's like he got the plastic surgery that worked or something, or it's testament to
he just has great genes. I guess.
Yeah, whatever he eats and works out with. But yeah, that's amazing. He's still doing fine. What I can gather.
He's been quiet. I haven't seen a Chuck Norris thing in a while. So, when you have older people and they get out of the spotlight for a while, you wonder if they're okay.
Let's see. If we go to chucknorris.com, the home of Chuck Norris, you can purchase Chuck Norris's 1 ounce silver coin.
Ooh.
Yeah. Limited edition.
You still got Chuck Norris water?
The merch store. Yeah, and he's got that water. You can actually get that at Farmers.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Chuck Norris water?
Uh-huh. So that's what it is. He just got his name and likeness plastered onto everything.
He's doing a Madden.
Right.
Well, let me give you the rundown for today's show. Mm-hmm. It will not be Chuck Norris.
No Chuck Norris.
No Chuck Norris. Sorry.
We
tried. But Charles Norris was busy.
Yeah.
Actually, he saw us eating mac and cheese ice cream yesterday, and he said, I'm out.
Yeah. That contract that I signed, why don't you give me that?
He's like, I will no go. I'm going to show over there eating mac and cheese ice cream. Kraft mac and cheese.
We're not going to break it out for him.
You needed the Chuck Norris ice cream. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to be joined in studio by Christina Arnold, Ward 1 City Councilor, and Shelley Bell, the Roswell's safety coordinator. So we're going to learn a little bit about what her job is, and just talk a little bit about some of how the sausage is made here on that. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to replay our interview we had with Robert Sherman from the Walker Aviation Museum. He joins us each month to give us an update on there, and he was on the show earlier this week just talking about what they've got going on there. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, yesterday we had Tracy and Hope with the Roswell Adult Center join us, talking about all the things they've got going on at the Adult Center here in the new year. Classes for everyone, not just seniors or children, but everybody. So, including, they got yoga, they got an 80s party coming up, they got all kinds of stuff. But anyway, we'll play that interview for you here in just a little bit in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local and national variety, along with your weather, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do anything else, let's take a look at that weather. Like I said, the rain that they were saying is now this afternoon, this evening. At least that's the way I'm seeing it. But here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We've got low pressure moving across our area today. We'll be getting a mix of rain and snow showers this morning, but all rain this afternoon before tapering off late in the day. Our high should be in the low 50s, and then things clear out tonight. We'll have partly cloudy skies dropping to about 30. Friday looks good. We're in the mid-50s with sunshine, and then fair for the upcoming weekend. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 36 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 76%. Winds are calm at the moment. So there is a 20% chance of rain after 9 a.m. this morning. Patchy fog between 9 and noon. Partly cloudy for today. High of 48 expected. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, a 30% chance of rain before 9 p.m. Partly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 29 degrees, so we'll be chilly overnight. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly sunny Friday. Highs expect to be in the mid-50s tomorrow, 54 for a high. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, partly cloudy. Overnight low of 28 degrees. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Saturday, windy, looks like. Mostly sunny and a high of 49. Winds will be out of the northwest early, 10 to 15 miles per hour, but as Saturday progresses, those winds will increase 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear skies, overnight low of 25. Sunday, mostly sunny and 55 for a high. Sunday night, there is a 20% chance at rain showers after midnight, then it changing over to snow. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 31. Monday, a 30% chance of snow for the afternoon, partly cloudy, 44 and breezy. So we'll see if we get any snow out of all that, but 44, probably not much. All right, it is 7:18. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we will talk with City Councilor Christina Arnold and Shelley Bell, Roswell Safety Coordinator, on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Knowledge is the power to see more, do more, and be more. As one of the most affordable universities in the Southwest, Eastern New Mexico University has helped thousands of people like you earn a degree. Spring 2024 at ENMU is the perfect time to get started with affordable tuition, great scholarships, and a wide range of in-person or online classes. Learn your power. Apply today for spring 2024 at enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
Garlic has been around for thousands of years and is one of the world's favorite seasonings. Without garlic, most of our food would be dull and boring, kind of like watching C-SPAN. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. If you like to cook and like to grow things, you ought to try growing your own garlic. Come by Roswell Seed Company and we'll show you how. And next August, you'll have fresh, homegrown garlic to make your food taste great and keep the vampires away.
Most have heard the story of David defeating Goliath with a sling and a rock. The obvious lesson is that David relied on God's strength, not his own, to win the battle. However, there are other lessons to learn from the story. When Goliath challenges the Israelites, he says this, "Why have you come out to draw up for battle? Am I not a Philistine, and are you not servants of Saul?" Maybe the Israelite soldiers' problem was they were acting like servants of Saul rather than servants of God. They were following the wrong one. In challenging Goliath, David says, once he takes him out, this, all the earth will know that there is a God in Israel, and that all this assembly may know that the Lord saves not with sword or spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hand. Both in that battle and in the battles through time, God will always prevail. In the midst of the worst, God is still in charge. Sometimes God will put you in a battle empty-handed, so that when you get the victory, you'll know it wasn't you, but him all along.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, back with us, Ward 1 City Councilor Christina Arnold. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we also have Roswell's safety coordinator, Shelley Bell. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Doing wonderful.
Good. All right. So I guess because safety coordinator is a pretty broad term, does that kind of cover like anything health and safety related for the city of Roswell, or does that kind of... Like, I'm just curious because when you say that, I was like, well, that could fall the road department, the police and law enforcement, water department. Technically, everything could fall under that. So does that mean is it everything, or do you get kind of...
So a focus is training.
Gotcha.
And making sure that we have the right training for the right people within the right amount of time.
Gotcha.
Another focus is accidents and incidents.
Okay.
And anytime we have City of Roswell property...
Okay.
Or people that are injured or hurt, then I do.
Then you get involved. I gotcha. So you don't really have the law enforcement have their safety policy people. You maybe oversee that, but you're not in there dictating day-to-day safety protocol.
I don't dictate day-to-day. I support the different departments and try to help them make it as best.
Sure.
As
stay in compliance and things like
sir.
that too. So you're kind of the one that making sure everyone else is doing. Staying within regulations and helping them when there is an accident or something. Like you said, it's a city of 50,000 people. People trip and fall sometimes, just...
I'm not directing them. I'm assisting them, yes.
Yes, to navigate through those processes and things like that. So, very cool. I was just curious because you say safety coordinator, it's like, that's pretty... that could cover everything.
It covers a lot. Other duties as assigned. Mm-hmm. Isn't that the way it goes?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm curious, what's an atypical day like for you at the? Is it just handling case after case kind of thing, or is it nope? I got to go hit here, or is it kind of an office job, or are you pretty all over the city?
I do have an office at City Hall.
Okay.
But if we do get a call that something has been damaged or someone's been injured, of course I'll go to that.
Gotcha.
And I work in depth at trying to make sure that each department and each task has a plan forward to improve the safety for each employee.
Okay. So how does one get in this career field? What was it that obviously I'm an adult. I understand when as a kid we all want to be astronaut, firefighter, or whatever, but life changes and we get, we start learning in the real world, there's more jobs than firefighter, policeman, and baker, or whatever it is, and so, but I'm just curious, how did your path end up here as the safety coordinator for Roswell?
After college, I went into emergency services with an ambulance company.
Okay.
And within that period of time, I started teaching CPR.
Okay.
And over a period of time, developed, and then we moved to Roswell and started working for a company here, technology training company, and that became another company that moved to Woodlands. I wasn't moving, and during the time I was with them, I worked at not only teaching first aid CPR, but building my other safety courses.
Gotcha.
That we provided throughout the city and to other clients U.S.-wide.
Wow. So in theory, like CPR kind of started it all for a little bit here. So it's kind of weird how one thing in your life just kind of sets the path, and especially when you didn't realize it or intend it to be that way, or something that you dreamed of, it just kind of, oh, look at that, the path just kind, you know what I mean? It's kind of neat how life works like that, but it's always funny how it's some little thing or something you did that maybe at the moment seemed insignificant, but turns out to be the the linchpin in what you're doing for the rest of your life. So it's kinda neat.
Absolutely.
Well, I actually kind of want to step in here and say that one of the reasons I asked Miss Shelley to be on with us today is because I've watched her over the last year, and not only is she a lot of fun,
Mm-hmm.
she giggles, but she's also she's very diligent in her work. She's spot on,
Sure.
and she's constantly trying to look at things, analyze, and see how we can improve. And these are the kind of employees that fill up the city of Roswell, and we need to make sure that we're spotlighting them
Sure.
because they're doing an amazing job.
Absolutely. Well, I would kind of think like an asset for your job is, you know how some people are just good at spotting the potential out of something. Like there's a commercial right now for, I think it's insurance or something, where there's this lady that just nails like sizes. That won't fit. That's not going to fit. I don't know if you've seen that commercial.
Yeah, trying to get the catch
Yeah,
in
and
there.
I think there's a little bit of that in your job going on. Like you walk in a room and like, yeah, that could be a problem later. Oh yeah, like every OSHA violation known to man, you're just spotting them because is that your life a little bit where you kind of walk into rooms and you're always, all right, yeah, that's gonna be a problem later.
Well, one of the things that you learn about is that in safety, you look for the hazard and the potential hazard.
Sure.
And that's developing a safety culture. And that's what I want for all our employees, because not only is that an asset at work, but at home, it's taking care of the family.
Sure.
And away from home, it's looking around and making sure that you're looking for the hazard, the potential hazard.
I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of like a full-time mom job because it's kind of what moms are. They're always looking for the hazards.
I was about to say, but one thing about Miss Shelley is she's not like a home monitor. Okay, she at least delivers, and you don't feel bad or shamed. She's actually just more informative. So her approach is very, very good.
Right.
And I believe successful.
Yeah, but I just imagine, as the safety, it's just your brain is probably wired like, yep. Yeah. It's like red flag, red flag, red flag. You know what I mean?
Like an inspector, kind of, constantly seeing it.
I would imagine
we
that.
need to work on that, or we need to change that, or really what I believe in is that we add value to the employees and to everyone around and make it fun to where it's not, oh, I have to do this job.
Sure.
It's something that's value added.
Absolutely. Well, and it's kind of one of those things like I was in the military, and you have your quality assurance, your QA people, which are kind of like your safety, making sure you're doing things right and things like that. And you're right, like they kind of treat it like, we're on display, or we're about to be judged for how we're doing things, and that's not what it's about or anything, and it can easily turn into that. But I imagine that's kind of, at first for employees and other city employees that just know your position and don't know you, they probably think you walk into a room and it's like, I got to be on my P's and Q's kind of thing. And it's like, no, that's not it at all. I'm just here. You're doing your job. What can I do to make it safer and better for you?
That's exactly right.
I'm not here to find out what you're doing wrong and punish you for it. I'm here to say, hey, are you doing this the best, safest way? Maybe we can help you make that a little better.
Make it easier, make it safer, make it more pleasurable to actually come to work and not have to worry about, wait a minute, what's going to hurt me today?
Sure. Well, and Christina, as you because each month, we have these conversations with various department heads and employees of the city. And one thing we can kind of determine is, because everyone's so unique, we had like the wastewater treatment folks on, and their job is so night and day different than other, like your job, for instance. But at the same time, it isn't, because, you're that person that sees all these moving parts and say, hey, what can we do to make this better? We know, if you're not paying attention at the wastewater treatment plant, this could be a dangerous place. How do we make it so it's a little bit safer, or a little bit, when you have people not paying attention, there's safeties in places to hopefully catch them before something bad happens. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. It's learning to prevent these things before an incident happens, and then we learn from that lesson instead. Unfortunately, a lot of safety was learned because someone else did it the first time and it didn't happen. You know what I mean? somebody stuck their finger in an electrical socket at one point, and before we had to tell people, don't do that.
I would actually have to say that that's how most laws are written,
Yeah.
because they're all reactive.
And I'm
they're
saying,
not forethought.
Yeah, but a person like Shelley could come and say, hey, maybe you don't have to put your finger in an electrical socket first.
Let me show you what might can happen on the video, so you don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's we have so many very intelligent, very capable directors for the different departments, and we are very blessed that we have a leadership right now that is looking forward to the next step to improve all areas.
Sure.
And that's what I look forward to.
Sure, and I think it's a cocktail of the technology. You know, obviously as technology updates and things, you know, the equipment, you know, that always comes. You know, I'm sure like taking back to the wastewater treatment plant, how they do it today versus how they did that stuff, say 30 years ago, I'm sure is a lot safer now than it was 30 years ago, just because we've learned things in 30 years. You know,
absolutely.
So, and that's really kind of, and I think at the end of the day, that's kind of part of what your job is just making sure they're up to date on this stuff and saying, hey, you know, there is a better way. Let's help you do that. Let's make sure we're the most efficient, but also the most safe, you know, and doing it, have that, you know, balance in efficiency versus safety. Safety always trumps efficiency. That's the way, but how do we do it, you know?
And the biggest part of that is communication. Is making sure that everybody's talking, and we have more than just one department that has the same hazards. How works best for each department, and make sure that they understand they're not alone.
Sure, absolutely. I imagine too, you probably deal a lot with like the OSHA side. So when there's changes coming from above, you're the one that kind of has to meticulate that down to the rest of the city, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
OSHA, there's many different regulatory mandates. You've got DOT, EPA. You have several different regulatory departments that you have to pay attention to and make sure that you're in compliance with the different rules.
So you're kind of the red tape Sherpa for safety. You know, when you think about it and breaking it down, is like they're going to give you all this gobbledygook that you got to sort through and make sense of, and then disseminate that down to the common folk, the rest of the city that have got to implement this stuff.
She's a Sherpa. I'm going to have to call her that from now on. Red tape.
I mean, am I off? I mean, but it kind of sounds like that's a little bit of what your job is in a very rudimentary, broad, you know, description.
I'm just a teammate that's helping the different departments is all I am.
She does wear red tape and have it.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, because I'm sure they hand you a bunch and you're like, is that even a sentence? What is that? And you're like, there's more legalese in this thing than I've ever seen in my life. And you got to just, you know, kind of determine what that means and then
put it in plain words.
Yeah, let the rest of us know what they're saying is wear your helmet.
and you need a helmet that looks like this so that it doesn't.
It is amazing how regulations are written in it's like Greek, but then it's one simple phrase. It's interesting.
Yeah,
we do need translators.
Yeah, well, I spent enough time in the military and government operations to know how all that works. So, if they can put an acronym on it for something, they will. So,
and everybody has to have protective clothing. We talk about PPE, and for the military, it looks a little bit different than some of the other stuff.
Sure,
but it's not just in the workplace, but you have stuff at home that you use too.
Absolutely.
Gloves, you know, just to make sure that you're protected. And,
absolutely.
And just showing how this works, not just at work, but at home is a big wish that I want.
Well, I'm going to take a stab. I have no stats to back any of this up or anything. I'm just pulling it out of the air, but I'm going to probably think it's probably correct. When it comes to this town and any town, 99% of these accidents and things aren't happening in the workplace. They're happening at the home or off work somewhere, you know what I mean? And kind of to your point here, it's like, yeah, we want to make sure, but we hope some of the things we tell you and stuff rub off on home. It's like, hey, you know, it's dangerous at work. It's also dangerous for you to do that at home too. Don't just because you're off duty doesn't mean you should stop doing that.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's it.
You want to make sure that you wear your harness when you're in the tree at home too. So
exactly. So when you're trimming your trees,
yes,
because you want to save a buck, you're not that guy with the hold my beer and a chainsaw dangling from a branch that's about that thick.
Yeah.
Even as simple as teaching your children what a fire extinguisher is and what, when, and how you need to use it.
Absolutely.
Can be life-saving for your family. And those are things that you have at work, but you need to carry them home too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I keep fire extinguishers in my home, and I had to use it. It was about 10 years ago. I was living in the South End, and it was around 4th of July, and I was in my house, and I look out my back window, and I see a bunch of smoke coming from my neighbor's yard, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I go out there, and I see he's trying to drag a hose from his thing to where he was lighting fireworks in the alley, and the hose was about that too short. And so I'm watching this idiot do this. And I said, oh, man, he's going to burn the whole place down. So I grabbed my fire extinguisher, went out there, put it out, and I looked at him like, you're an idiot. And I went back inside.
Those were your parting words. Yeah.
I literally said, you're an idiot. You're a grown man, and you're lighting fireworks at 3 days. Can't put it. You're an idiot. But anyway, my point is, had I not, what if I didn't have that there? Who knows that, how long before that guy would have burned the neighborhood down,
And you saw the potential hazard.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do is help others, no matter where they are, learn about how to look at the hazard and potential
Absolutely.
hazard.
Doing this stuff at home, we hope to God you never need it. But, there's bare minimums that every single home should have in it. Fire extinguishers, first aid kits, every home should have some somewhere. And I'm not talking just a pack of Band-Aids in the medicine cabinet.
That's
a real
me.
first aid kit.
I need to work on that.
A real first aid kit that you could take somewhere that's got gauze. You can buy them at any big box store or online for probably $20 or less. And keep them in your cars, in your home, and you keep them because you never know when you're going to need to bust that out for some reason. Even if it's something minor, you keep one in your car, and the kid bumps his knee at the park playing. Oh, great! Get a Band-Aid in the car. You can, what I mean? It's just smart. It's just to have that kind of stuff. And let's face it, we live in New Mexico. We don't live in New York City. We don't live in Atlanta, Georgia. We don't live in Dallas, Texas. There is a possibility you're going to drive someplace and be remote for a while. So it's not a bad idea to keep water or keep a change of clothes or flashlight and battery, some immediate survival tools if to keep in your car. You never know, especially if you're going, hey, we're going to go to Taos this weekend. I don't know how many times you hear a story, somebody gets run off the road up there, and next thing you know, it's days before someone finds them. That's, I know I'm sounding a little over, but these are the, plan for these things. Just,
I need to work on that too.
You don't have to worry about it, but just keep put a first aid kit in the car. Keep one in your house there. Keep a little fire extinguisher. You don't have to go buy like the big old, just something that you can store, travel. They got ones that are very small and compact and do the job, but you gotta, that's a good idea to have that stuff. You hope to God you never need it, but it's sure handy when that car on the side of the road's on fire and you pull over and you've got a fire extinguisher to help them out, and they don't, we live in a place where things like this happen all the time.
And even thinking we're going to have maybe some snow or ice, even thinking about, I'm in my driveway, I want to get out of my driveway, my vehicle is not prepared for that. What can I do to be able to have traction?
Yeah.
Should I put the remainder of the kitty litter or sand in the back of my car?
Right.
So in case I'm somewhere that I can't get good traction, go ahead.
Yeah. Although, pro tip, I just read something on Twitter that kind of made me laugh. If you do use cat litter and it's the crystal and all that, just don't put it in a big gallon-sized Ziploc baggie and leave it in the backseat of your car. The police might think it's meth.
That's actually a good tip.
I saw a thing where a guy got arrested for meth, and it turns out it was just a bag of kitty litter that he used for traction and all that.
Test it.
But I guess he had the highfalutin cat litter that kind of had the little crystals, so it didn't look just like dirty cat litter. It kind of had look a little more, I guess, drug-like. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I'm sure he was very angry about that.
Yeah, maybe just leave it in the bag.
Yeah.
Like, don't buy the big old carton of it, but that little bag that's about the size of, I don't know, about that big, throw that in the trunk or something like that. That way, when the police see it, like, that's kitty litter, not meth. but that's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, we only get snow once a year or something, but it's
ice.
We do travel. We are the people that go 3 hours for lunch because everything's remote. So we will go to Ruidoso on a whim for the day, and and I guarantee you, when you get to Ruidoso, they do get snow and they do get winter conditions, and if you aren't familiar with, and they have hills, so that's a combination that can be pretty treacherous if you don't know what you're doing.
Sometimes it's fun though.
It can be. It can be. So
you know how to drive on it.
Yeah. Well, my dad, when I was a kid, I grew up in Maryland, and so I had winter sometimes, but they didn't know how to handle it either. So, so my dad's from upstate New York. He grew up, winters were a foot of snow all the time. So he was pretty good at driving in the snow and all that. So he was teaching me how to do that. And the neighborhood we lived in had this 1/4-mile stretch of road that was nothing on it. It was just literally road. There was woods on either side. It wasn't, it was pretty remote. For the DC area, that was pretty. So my dad, that's where he was in the winter driving. He'd go, all right. And then he'd do the move. He'd be like, all right, when you're driving on the road, you don't want to do this. And he really cranks the wheel and the car goes off. And of course he corrected and everything, but he actually taught me and said, when the car starts doing this, that you need to do this. And it was really educational, but
so he's teaching you safety early.
He did, but not the safest way to teach it. I'm not going to lie. There's probably a few OSHA steps that he missed on that. Like the don't do this thing was probably not in the handbook.
I was like 22 and moved to Colorado Springs on the Air Force Academy.
Yeah.
We were stationed there, and I was kind of, 22. So I had no idea what a blizzard was like. And I actually get out there on the roads and I'm driving and I did that several times, but I learned, what is that, trial by fire?
Yeah.
So yes, I totally understand. It was, my dad didn't do that, but it was self-inflicted, kind of where I just get out there and learn.
Good pro tip. Don't learn that lesson in an expensive car.
That's right. And luckily there were no other cars coming.
That's right. This is when you're good, when you got your high school beater car that you don't mind if you run over a stop sign or two, because you're going to. But that being said, I know we're getting a little off the rails here, but you're right though. It's something that, yes, when you guys are practicing your safety at office or at work, please remember to take some of that home with you. Bring it with your family. No, you don't have to go way overboard. All right, where's everyone's yellow vests and all that stuff? But, have a plan. That's another thing. When we talk about emergencies at the home, if there's a fire in your home in the middle of the night, does your family have a plan on how to get out of there? If you're not, you need to discuss that kind of stuff. And you need to have, I know when we were kids, there used to be all kinds of PSAs on TV about stop, drop, and roll, and have a plan to escape. And you don't see that as much on TV anymore. I don't know if it comes in other forms, but it's still good advice. It's something that's always, when you're in your home, your family needs to know in case something happens. What happens if there's a fire? What happens if, there's a break-in or something like that? What's the family's plan? It's kind of like when you go to the fair every year. I always tell people, if there's a group of you going to the fair, pick a designated meeting spot, and if everyone gets separated, we all go here or whatever. You always have a plan. It's no different at home. Have that plan. Just, you hope you never need it, but kids wander.
Make
fires
sure
happen.
that you have a designated place you're going to meet.
Yeah.
And nobody leaves that place once they get there.
Absolutely. It's just,
and make sure that it's a place that it's not going to be real active, as far as that's where the fire truck is going to come into.
Yeah, you don't want to be right in the middle of where everyone
That's
needs
right.
to be. So make it at a place. But that's, talk with your family, especially your kids, and ingrain that into them, because when as a person in the military, when you just keep telling that and kind of embedding it into them.
That's right.
When an emergency situation hits, if you've done that right, that will kick in. They'll go, initial panic, but then it's like, all right, what do I do? Okay, Dad said do this, or Mom said do this, and that's what they do. So it does work, but you got to practice it and make a game out of it if you want to make it fun, but make it so if something does go down, it's going to kick in your kids'
Practice
brain.
how to get onto the phone, your cell phone, and be able to know how to get into dial 911 or what button you need to push. A lot of times the simple steps are the ones they don't practice, and sometimes people have a real hard time getting that first step done.
Yeah, it's okay to kind of overthink this a little bit. And what I mean by that is don't assume someone would already know something. Teach it like it's the first time. Like you said, you know what number to dial? Yeah, most of us know 911, but, make it say it. Make them practice it. Make them,
And that can be used for more than just fires, This is what you need to do, and this is what you need, just like practicing your address.
Absolutely.
And make sure that you help everyone learn that. Even in the workplace, if there's a number that you need to dial that is other than just 911, at our office, we have to dial 9 to get out, then we need to make sure that everybody knows that.
Absolutely. You're right. It's those little things that separate sometimes success and failure here. So,
That's right.
So be mindful of that and make sure your family has a plan for, obviously you can't think of every scenario and everything, but just things, hey, if there's a fire, this is what we do. If someone gets hurt, this is what we do. If the plumbing blows up, this is what we do. Whatever it is, So.
And when you're training, make sure that you have their attention as well as you're having fun, because it seems that people learn more when they're having fun than worrying about, I can't stand to keep my head up.
And even making it a game or giving it that kind of thing also helps to create the remember stuff, because they're using the association of the game or whatever fun way you did it to kind of help them remember the steps and what they've got to do to make sure they're safe. So yes, you're especially now, age appropriate here. If you're dealing with the 17-year-old, I don't think the ring around the posy, that's not going to sink in like it would with the younger kids. But age appropriate. But you're right. Make it fun. Make it something that will stick in their brain. And how you do that, use what the children are into. If there's a certain game or a certain TV show that they're into, incorporate that so they remember it. Whatever tools you use, utilize it. That's the stuff that makes this stuff sink in. And God forbid if they ever get in a situation where they need to use some of this stuff, it does help to make it kind of jump to the forefront of their brain. So just little stuff like that. So,
well, I tell you what, we have a wonderful administrator and leaders now, and we're looking forward to only way is up in the city, and making sure that people are happy and have value added to what they do.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question. If there's people listening, I know you deal a lot with obviously the city departments and things, but I'm going to guess there's probably some families listening and saying, is there a place or a thing where I could learn some of these tips? Could they, if folks have questions about this, can they call your office and say, hey, what's some resources on learning?
They're always, I'm more than happy to share information.
Good deal. What's the best way to do that? Just call your office direct? Or
you can call the office, my
Are you
office
at City Hall?
number. I am at City Hall. I have an office number, a direct number too. They're welcome to call that. They can call 575-624-6754. And if I'm not there, it'll leave a message for me and I'll get back to it.
Absolutely. But yeah, if you have questions or you're listening and saying, yeah, there's some good stuff, but is there a place I can read, research, find this stuff? And
Absolutely.
Shelley be happy to point you in that direction and get you, because information and knowledge is power. You learn it now, and especially when it comes to safety. And obviously there's things you do now to prevent, but a lot of it's being bonnet information, stuff that you hold on to and retain and hope to God you never have to use it. But if you're in that scenario where one day you're in the room and something goes down, you're ready to jump in and take the necessary steps.
Absolutely.
Going after that. Yeah.
You'd be surprised what a 6-year-old can actually accomplish.
Yeah.
So I've seen it, and it works.
I don't know how many stories I've heard over the years of a child calling 911 and helping because mom or dad had a heart attack or some kind of incident, or and the child was the one who brought the authorities to the place. And I love seeing that every time, especially obviously when it's a win-win for everybody, and the authorities got there and they were able to help the person in need. But it's so great when a child goes way above and beyond what you think they're capable of to do something like that. And you're right. Kids are amazing. But there's a reason why there's a whole show called Kids Say the Darndest Things and all this stuff. Kids, they're amazing and they can do so many things. And, as we get adults, we lose some of those special things they have, Yes. I don't know what year in our lives it just goes out our heads, but it does at some point. And so there's something magical there with that. And so it's great to see that these kids every time. That's one of my favorite things. I start going on Twitter or whatever, and you see these stories of mom had passed out and didn't know what to do, and their 3-year-old called 911 and got the authorities there. I mean, I love those. Are like my favorite stories. It seems like so. Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share that we just got sidetracked on? I tend to do that.
I'm just excited for the future. Yeah. We have a new year.
Absolutely.
And we're looking to build it up in a positive way.
And if your home doesn't have plans for some of these safety things we talked about, make it a New Year's resolution to have a plan for your family. I'm not telling you got to go over the top and start buying your food prep and all. I'm not going all that crazy stuff. But
no prepping.
But when it comes to safety, when it comes to what happens if there's a fire in your home, does your family know what to do? Is there a first aid kit in your home? Things like these are the kind of things that if you don't know or are not up to speed on that stuff, make it a point to get there and do that, because God forbid if something happens to your home and you need that stuff and it's not there. I'd hate to think of the alternative there. I'd much rather it happens and you've got a plan and prepared, and we can buy a new house. We can replace the house. We can replace the car. We can replace anything. We can't replace you.
Absolutely.
So have a plan.
Maybe that's actually something the city could consider putting out through public relations as far as a how-to on preparedness and stuff like that. That's
Those you've taught.
Yep.
It's just one of those things that we never know till you need it, kind of thing. And then once you need it, you're like, man, I wish I had that. Very good. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that.
Thank you for inviting us in.
Anytime. I love when Christine and I have these conversations, because it really is. There's so much that goes on in the city, and I think it's people don't understand because they don't know, or they don't see what's going on, so they just think this. It's like, no, here's the details. Here's what's going on there.
It's important to me because I see the city admin as the boots on the ground.
Yeah. And
so to kind of understand how things operate, I think that it's imperative that we talk to those who have their hands right in it. And I do want to say that I'll be here next month, February, probably the first week. But I want to say that the person who's speaking is the surprise.
Ah.
No, it's a surprise to me, too.
Okay. We're all going to be surprised.
Yeah. I got like 2 or 3 ideas, and so I'm working it out.
Good deal. But yes, each time, and that's great. People need to understand how these things go on, and obviously as a city councilor and things, you dive into the political side and every side of this thing here, but really, at the end of the day, the 10 of you are just trying to do all. It's more of this.
Yes.
Do we have the safety things in place? It's not who begat who to him to what.
Yeah.
It's
no. I don't practice politics.
How's the sausage made? Is the water going to come on? Is the toilet going to flush? Yep. Is my power? Is the trash getting picked up? Is are my streets clean and safe? These are the things that you guys deal with, not who begat whom to what to where and all that.
Nope.
I mean, that's fun and salacious and exciting, but this is the real city right here.
Yes.
This is the day-to-day. We got to make sure the water flows, the trash picked up, the streets are safe and clean, and people can navigate and do the things they want to do, and the city helps to make that happen. So that's what we're talking about here. So good deal. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you for having us.
Happy New Year.
Have a great
day.
Happy
you
New
too.
Year.
And anything we need, or especially if we get, or if there's any concerns or anything that we want to get the public out, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll make sure we talk about it and let people know. So.
Very good.
Good deal. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Next time.
All right. It is 7:54. Let us pause for news and commercial and some King Commando. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News updates. The latest on a Carlsbad death. A teenager now facing a manslaughter charge after a shooting that left a 15-year-old boy dead. The shooting December 29th at a home in the 300 block of Baylor Street. Police are not releasing the name and age of the suspect due to the circumstances. The victim, the 15-year-old boy, has also not been identified formally by police, but we're told he was a Carlsbad High School student. Counseling services have been made available to students at the school this week. While not releasing any official information, Carlsbad police are urging residents not to engage in spreading rumors and speculation on social media. The city of Roswell is said to be considering taking a step back in its role of being the major player in pulling off the annual UFO festival. Instead, having community groups take over planning and organizational duties. The city's finance committee cites rising costs and troubles with booking musical acts. Additionally, the city has been the focus of a state investigation for potential violations of the state procurement code. The Artesia Daily Press reports that Roswell City Council member Christina Arnold has publicly said before that she is not a fan of the city running events like this. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Where do all those expensive Amazon, Target, and Walmart returns go? Probably to a bin store to be sold at prices you're not going to believe. I'm Kim Commando with how to get some great deals at your local bin store. People everywhere are heading to strip malls across America, waiting in gigantic lines to get into their local bin store. They're on the hunt for low-priced treasures, iPhones, tablets, computers at a fraction of the cost. Of course, these are all returns, liquidation, or overstock. Want in on the fun? I bet there's a bin store in your area ready to be picked. To find one, head to good old Google. Search phrases like bin stores near me or Amazon return stores. Remember, it's an adventure. You'll find everything from brand new items with tiny flaws to overstocked treasures. But be smart. Some items may be damaged, and there's probably some counterfeit junk in the mix. If it's something electronic, ask if you can plug it in to try it out. Usually, there are no returns allowed. Make 2024 your tech smart year and get my free newsletter. You can sign up right now at getkim.com. Is your business falling behind? Are your employees buried in manual processes? Well, then you need to know 3 numbers. 37,000, 25, 1. To start, 37,000 businesses have already upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. And this year, NetSuite is celebrating their 25th anniversary. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close books in days, and drive down costs. And finally, that #1, because your business is one of a kind. NetSuite offers customized solutions for all your KPIs in one efficient system. It's one source of truth to manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist, designed to give you consistently excellent performance, absolutely free at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/Kim.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We've got low pressure moving across our area today. We'll be getting a mix of rain and snow showers this morning, but all rain this afternoon before tapering off late in the day. Our high should be in the low 50s, and then things clear out tonight. We'll have partly cloudy skies dropping to about 30. Friday looks good. We're in the mid-50s with sunshine, and then fair for the upcoming weekend. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Football season not quite over. We haven't told you about the all-state selections in Class 5A. Roswell High had a whole bunch of selectees, and congratulations. Let's tell you about the seniors to begin with. Malachi Mitchell, Josh Estrada, Wes Gallegos, Bryce Sanchez, also a senior. Manny Fuentes picked at quarterback. Rico Lujan on the O-line. Peyton Kennard, kicker, and Eli Lynn, first-team selection at defensive end. For the juniors, there were 4 picked. Cy Carrasco at defensive back. He was a first-teamer. Keegan Nichols at outside linebacker. A first-teamer at defensive line was Mason Greathouse, and congratulations, Noah Lynn, first-team selection on the D-line as well. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
The Fergalicious boys can keep you hot this winter.
Fergalicious.
Oh yeah, it's getting cold out there, and Fergus Plumbing and Heating has what you need to keep things hot in your home. They can come by and winterize your pipes and check your insulation, and you know they'll do it with nothing but love. Oh yeah, baby. Call the Fergalicious boys at Fergus Plumbing and Heating at 622-2660. When you need it hot, Fergus is on the job. Fergalicious.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
A woman answering the Perry Police Department phone confirms there was a shooting at Perry High School, but offers no additional details. Perry, located roughly 40 miles northwest of Des Moines, Iowa. Leading a large Republican congressional delegation to the southern border, House Speaker Mike Johnson blasting Biden border policies, which he says put the country at risk of another terror attack or attacks.
The situation here and across the country is truly unconscionable. We would describe it as both heartbreaking and infuriating.
During a stop at Eagle Pass, Texas, Johnson says there have been nearly 7 million illegal encounters at the border, nearly 2 million known gotaways. Additionally, he says that lethal drugs have been pouring into the country at record levels. Former President Trump is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to reverse a state Supreme Court ruling, keeping him off the ballot in Colorado.
Trump formally appealed last month's 4-3 ruling by the Colorado Supreme Court, which used the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause to bar the former president from the state ballot. He asked the nation's highest court to reverse the Colorado ruling without even hearing arguments. Earlier this week, Trump's legal team appealed a ruling in Maine that would keep him off the ballot in that state, also because of the January 6th Capitol riot. Greg Clugston, the White House.
An Iranian-backed militia leader is dead following a U.S. airstrike on a target in Baghdad, Iraq. 202,000 unemployment claims filed last week, and that was down from 220,000 claims the week before. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 138 points, the NASDAQ 52 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The black box from the deadly U.S. Osprey aircraft crash in Japan has been recovered, the data intact.
8 Air Force Special Operations Command service members were killed during a routine training flight on November 29th. The Osprey plane crashed off the coast of Yakushima Island in southwestern Japan. The Air Force was able to determine within days of the crash that material failure and not a mistake by the crew led to those deaths. The military's entire Osprey fleet has been grounded since December 6th, and the government of Japan has also grounded its fleet. The black box is being sent to a lab for data retrieval. Analysis of that data is expected to take several weeks. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
South Korean intelligence says it views a 10-year-old daughter of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un as her father's likely heir apparent. The girl was introduced in her first public appearance about a year ago. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Scientists think they have found a way to help Alzheimer's drugs more effectively penetrate the brain.
They use sound waves to jiggle a temporary opening in its protective shield. Some new drugs modestly slow Alzheimer's worsening by attacking brain-clogging amyloid plaque, with doses every few weeks for well over a year. In a novel experiment, West Virginia University researchers added the ultrasound tool to 3 patients' drug doses for 6 months. In spots in the brain where that shield was open, more plaque was cleared. The findings were published Wednesday in the New England Journal of Medicine. Keith Peters reporting.
Shaking off high prices and high interest rates, car and truck sales rose 12% last year over 2022, the biggest month-to-month increase more than a decade. Americans purchased 15.5 million new vehicles in 2023, yet sales have not returned to the 17 million vehicle pre-pandemic rate. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel wishing, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
They call it the deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on this dark Thursday morning.
'Twas a dark and stormy Thursday.
Yeah, I just talked to my wife during the break, and she was like, "It's dark in here." I'm like, "Yeah, it's still kind of dark out with this fog, and overcast. It's a little ominous out there this morning."
It is. It's days like this that the fluorescent has like a different glow to it. Yeah.
This to me is that Joe versus the volcano glow I don't like.
You're gonna have to explain the context.
You've never seen the movie?
I've seen parts of it. I've never sat and watched the whole movie.
So at the beginning of the movie, Joe versus the volcano,
right,
starring one Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. The premise of the movie, for folks who didn't know, is Tom Hanks decided he's tired of life and he's gonna wine and dine. Basically, he gets, I can't remember what he gets, money or he gets something, and basically there's this tribe, this indigenous tribe on some island that weirdly enough only drinks orange soda. But anyway, at the beginning of the movie, he's at his widget job where he goes to this very gray factory to go work in his little cubicle. But as he's doing it, he's like walking in with all the other people in the trench coats and the briefcases, and it's all dun, dun, dun. Everyone's just walking gloomily to the thing, and he's like talking, and it's the fluorescent lights, the glow from the just sucks the life out of you, and all. So and he ain't wrong. I hate fluorescent.
It's true.
To this day, I hate these lights.
Well, all my favorite radio personalities tend to do their work in not darkness, but in like spotlit rooms.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. If I had my druthers,
right.
The only reason these lights are on is because of the cameras. Otherwise, I'd have that little lamp over here on, and these lights off. I turn because as soon as the show's over, I turn these lights off. I hate the fluorescent lights.
Yeah, but it's gonna be extra dark in here because of the gray outside.
I'm okay with that.
The super Londonness.
What's really kind of ominous is like if I'm doing board op and ball games and stuff at night, I'm usually sitting here in the dark.
Oh yeah,
I'll turn the light on in the other room just to give glow from this room.
An ambient glow.
Yeah,
right?
But I sit in here in the dark. I will turn on my lamp over here occasionally. But
a little Pixar lamp.
Yeah, but and I had to request that because I was like, hey, can I get a
little
lamp?
Dark in here, Mike. There are lights.
Well, and because I hate these lights.
I understand.
I do
I
not
get it.
like them. And I get it. Only time I have them on is during this show. I literally turn them off as soon as the show's over.
You know what's really messed up is I went because my overhead, my ceiling fan in my living room, the lights went out on that one. So I went to the store to get some new ones. you gotta be really, really careful when you select lights, especially like ceiling fan lights, the special bulbs.
Yeah.
Because now my living room has that same hospital glow. It's like white.
Ah, yes.
So I'm like,
my not in the house I'm currently in, but my former house, in the kitchen, it had a fluorescent light in the middle, like it was kind of a drop down a little bit. But the part about that one was it was very weird light bulbs, like they were horseshoe shaped, and it was very hard to change those lights. And I had to do it once, I think, during the time. I had a heck of a time. I think the second time I'm just like, you know what? Y'all worry about it. I'm out. Literally, I'm out. See you later.
yeah, I feel the same way about people who have to like change the lights on the tower. Like that is terrifying.
But they get good money.
Oh, they get great money and they deserve every cent they get. But I couldn't do it. There's no way.
Well,
I get vertigo when I'm on like the 4th floor, too close to a window.
Well, and I've talked about where my heights are weird. Like I can stand on a building or a bridge and be okay, but you put me on a 12-foot ladder, I'm freaking out.
Right.
That's where I get weird.
It's so odd. Like when I go to the roof of this building, the couple of times I've gone up to help KC or to, shoot content, I get like that. I need to be on my hands and knees vertigo. Like I get nervous. Same thing I got over the bridge over I-40.
I've been on the roof up here and I don't get that far.
Right.
But I very deliberately don't go anywhere near the edges of the building. I'm like, now I'll stay in the middle. I'm good. And my knees are always a little, not like about to buckle, but just a little uneasy. Like, you're like,
it's
not comfortable
10 feet to any edge.
Yeah.
And I still feel like if I fall right here, I'm somehow going to roll to the edge.
Like, and my instinct is to sit down on something. Problem is, everything is caked in 8 pounds of dirt up there.
Filthy up
so
there.
So if you sit on anything up there, you're going to be caked in dirt.
Yeah.
But my knees tell me to sit. I'm like, can I just sit on an edge or something over here? But like, no, you can't.
God. See, just even thinking about that, just like the thought of sitting on the edge just gave me.
Oh, not the edge of the wall.
I know, but when you said like that's the one place you could sit is a raised surface that's not dusty.
Yeah.
But even just the thought of that sent chills down my spine.
So,
I'm a coward, dude.
Well, but I know exactly what you're talking about because I don't have it to the extreme, but I do have some of that.
Right.
But like I said, I get more freaked out on a 12-foot ladder than I do like on the side of a bridge or something. Now, don't get me wrong. You put me up against the edge, I'm looking at, I'm all kinds of, but like I went up the St. Louis Arch and I was okay there. That was kind of cool. It's all encased in glass. So I was okay.
There's that one part of, what do they call the Sears Tower now? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Webster's Tower.
Yeah.
But where there's like a clear block that you can like look straight down. No, thank you.
And unfortunately, when I went to the Grand Canyon a couple years ago, that was right during like COVID or like the end of COVID. So the buses and everything, and we were kind of trapped in the middle of the park because we didn't have a car. We took a train in.
Right.
And the buses weren't running because of COVID. So we either had to walk 5 miles or just see what was in our area. But one of the things that was about 5 miles from where we're at was that famous deck thing they got that's glass. That you can walk out and basically just see thousands of miles of canyon below you here. I don't know if I could do that. I just like part of me says I need to do it to do it. But once I'm there, I'm like, dude, why do I need to stand over there? I'm just fine standing right here.
It's almost like that chaotic evil side of you that's like part of you that there's that little voice like jump.
Yeah.
Do it. You're not gonna do it, but there's still that little voice.
But weirdly enough, and this is where my weird about that is different. When I was in the Boy Scouts, we used to go to this scout camp in Virginia, and it was this lake, and it was surrounded by the Appalachian Mountains, and they had this man-made lake in the middle of a beautiful piece of country.
Right.
But one of the places we hiked to was this place called Viewing Rock, and it was really a good viewing spot on the side of the mountain up there. It was kind of a rocky area. It was not woods and trees, so you could kind of sit on the rocks and have lunch. And, going there and sitting on the rocks and just looking at the lake and the mountains, and we're up high. We're on the mountain. You know, we're looking at a rock and there's, a valley and, and everything below me. Sitting on that rock not sitting on the edge with my with my legs hanging over nothing, but just kind of sitting on the rock a few feet back and, my drink and my sandwich or whatever. One of the most peaceful, surreal, calming, I could sit there all day and be in my little happy place, and I was good to go. But I'm weirdly afraid of heights, but sitting there, I felt completely safe and fine.
I kind of understand. It's like I can climb to a high rocky place, and for some reason, if there's any grade to the hill, I'm okay. Because I'll just roll. It's fine. Or slide. You know? But if it's just sheer, I'm out.
Yeah.
I mean,
this had a little bit of both. It was you went up, but it's a goat trail. It's that last, 30, 40 feet of getting to it. It's a goat trail going straight up. And so it's intimidating if you're height, but I don't know. I don't know if it was just the beauty of the moment just overcame the fear part, but I literally I just don't want to leave. I want to sit here, and this is where you can bury me. I'm good right here. Just leave me here, and
I shall die now.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It was
with
one
this
of those
bologna
places
sandwich and bag of chips.
I don't need to leave anywhere. This is my happy place. I'll sit here, throw me a sandwich every once in a while. I'll be happier the rest of my life.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's weird.
Simple man.
It is. We humans are weirdos.
It is odd when it decides to trigger, but there's where we find ourselves.
Yeah, but now I want to go to Viewing Rock.
I know. I kind of want to too.
It
sounds
surreal.
awesome.
Loved it. You look at the lake. Oh man, I could just sit there hours and you feel like you're a fly on the wall watching the world go by. It's just, I don't know, very cathartic.
I could get in on that.
Yeah. The other place I used to love going was there was the Maury River, which was a creek basically. Y'all would call it a river because y'all don't know what rivers are around here. But for all intents and purposes, we would have called that a creek back in our neighborhood. But the Maury River there, it was, when it was actually up, when the water was up, it was more river-like. But anyway, that was on my days off. I'd go down to the river. I had my little spots where I can just hang out, kick back with a few adult beverages, and spend some hours just sitting there with your feet in the water. And I guess I could have fished and stuff, but I didn't feel like fishing. I just wanted to hang out by the water and enjoy the rocks, go swimming, whatever, just fart around.
Speaking of fishing, this is just it was kind of funny. While we were in Oklahoma, we went to that Scissortail Park. My brother-in-law kept saying that he was going to do some fishing. I was like, in the little pond they have there. He opens the back end of his SUV and pulls out a long string and a magnet.
Okay.
He was magnet fishing. I'm like, that's baller. I want to do that. And I just go to random bodies of water and just do that. I mean, now granted, everything I've ever seen on TikTok or whatever, those are the dudes that find the guns and the unset off bombs and stuff.
Right.
They're usually having to call in the feds or whatever and then answer a bunch of questions. But it still seems like so much fun.
Well, it's the next level of the guys with the metal detectors on the beach. It's the next level. Of that.
We're taking it underwater. But he's like, I'm going to go do
Which on the surface sounds fun, but after about 15, 20 minutes of that, I'm probably bored out of my gourd.
Sure, yeah.
For a hot minute, you're like, yeah, let's do it. This sounds fun. But after walking around the dirt going with nothing for 10 minutes, you're kind of like, this is stupid. Let's do something else.
It was just funny because it was like he went from the most redneck I'd ever seen him because he's like, I'm gonna fish in the park creek to I'm doing sophisticated magnet fishing. It's crazy to go from redneck to baller that quickly.
Right, he's a scientist all of a sudden.
It is awesome.
Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're gonna get you up to date with the weather and all that here in just a bit, and then Robert Sherman joined us on Tuesday from the Walker Aviation Museum in the 7 o'clock hour to give us an update. We're gonna play that for you here in just a few. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show.
Indeed.
It is 8:18. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We've got low pressure moving across our area today. We'll be getting a mix of rain and snow showers this morning, but all rain this afternoon before tapering off late in the day. Our high should be in the low 50s, and then things clear out tonight. We'll have partly cloudy skies dropping to about 30. Friday looks good. We're in the mid-50s with sunshine, and then fair for the upcoming weekend. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. I did not refresh. Hold on. Let me refresh my freshness. There we go. Currently 37 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 82%. Winds are out of the south at 6 miles per hour. We are looking at a 20% chance at some rain showers after 9 a.m. this morning. Could see some patchy fog till about noon today. Otherwise, partly cloudy, high of 48 degrees with south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, there is a 30% chance of rain before 9 p.m. Partly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 29 degrees. Winds will be out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Friday, mostly sunny, 54 for a high. Winds out of the northwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, partly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 28. Winds out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For the weekend on Saturday, mostly sunny but windy. High of 49 with northwest winds 10 to 15 early, 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour by Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, clear skies with an overnight low of 25. Sunday, sunny, expect highs around 55 degrees. And then Sunday night, 20% chance at rain showers before midnight, then that changing over to snow showers. And then a 30% chance of snow for the afternoon on Monday as well with a high of 44. So it won't be that much snow, not with a high of 44. All right, it is 8:20. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we'll play our interview with Robert Sherman from the Walker Aviation Museum. Don't go away.
Hey neighbors, there's a new source for all your appliance needs in the area. We're Roswell Appliance Outlet. We sell new minor scratch and dent appliances, and we'll help you save 40 to 60% off of MSRP. All come with warranty and personalized service. We also offer parts and service for your existing household appliances. We offer financing and delivery options as well. Don't make that big box store mistake. Come see us at Roswell Appliance Outlet today at 600 South Main in Roswell, or call 575-363-9236.
Roswell Appliance Outlet, a proud supporter of Roswell Sports.
Central Valley Electric is continually learning and advancing technology that improves electric service, reliability, and safety, and in turn enhancing the quality of life for members that we serve in our local communities. CVE offers an account management program called Smart Hub that allows members to track their usage, set up convenient pay methods, and the ability to manage their energy use with smart technologies. A secure system such as Smart Hub is an easy tool to use. To sign up, visit cvecoop.org and click Smart Hub to get started.
Ring in the new year at your locally owned and operated Big O Tires. Now through January 7th, save up to $140 on select sets of tires after mail-in rebate. Also, take advantage of our Winter Healthy Car Special for just $29.95. The savings won't last, so make an appointment online or visit your local Roswell Big O Tires today. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
What's the buzz all about? The Honey Depot, Artesia's little store with a whole lot more. You'll find an unbelievable selection of one-of-a-kind gifts and decor. Everything from candles to soaps, books and Bible study journals, home decor, local honey, seasonings, candies, and more. Not to mention a staff that's sweeter than honey. So buzz on in. If you can't find it here, you probably don't need it. Open Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 5:30, Saturdays 10 to 6, closed Sunday and Monday at 104 West Hermosa Drive in Artesia. Shop local. Shop Honey Depot, the little store with a whole lot more.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Robert Sherman, back with us from the Walker Aviation Museum. Good morning. How are you doing today? Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
How was your New Year's weekend? Did you do anything exciting?
Yeah. It was kind of quiet. It was okay. Yeah.
Good.
I had fun.
Quiet New Year's, a good New Year's to me.
I had good Christmas. Went over to, we had a little neighborhood get together for food. So we have a neighbor across the street that loves to cook. So, and his wife's a really good cook. So.
Nice. And you're like, well, I love to eat. It was a match made
So I
in
took the
heaven.
hard part. I just took the tea and the cranberry juice. And
all right. He's like, I'm in charge of beverages.
Yeah, right.
Well, good. Excellent. Well, sounds like you had a good time.
Today we've got some new things we'll talk about going on at the museum, a few new personnel issues, and the history lesson for today is on a B-36. And I timed myself last night, and it's about 8 minutes of history that we'll get in here before we finish up today. So
perfect. Well, for folks that aren't familiar, The Walker Aviation Museum is located inside the air terminal at the airport there, and it is a museum that is dedicated to the history of the Air Force Base that once called that part of town home. Originally Roswell Army Airfield, and then Walker Air Force Base. And the museum kind of talks, kind of celebrates that period of our history. Also, during the Cold War, this area served as a home for especially those early generation intercontinental ballistic missiles. And so we kind of talk about the history of that a little bit, too, at the Walker.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I mentioned that you get visitors coming in from the East Coast or all over, first time in Roswell. And you mentioned the Cold War, and you mentioned the fact that, for example, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, we had B-52 bombers, with atomic weapons. And we had 12 Atlas missiles surrounding Roswell, with warheads that were 130 times the size of Hiroshima's bombs.
That's right.
Yeah, so you kind of thinking about it, there's a lot of bombs sitting right outside our city limits.
That's a lot of hardware in our neighborhood, yeah.
So we were, I tell you, a primary target. The Russians knew exactly where Roswell was. And I just mentioned to them that, if you were drive up the north part of town and drive by and see Goddard High School, I said, you see it looks kind of like a normal school, but what you're seeing is the gymnasium areas or the administrative areas. But if you go to the classrooms, you go in and you go down two pretty long flights of stairs, and you're totally underground.
Yeah. And
they go, seriously? I said, yeah, that was...
For that purpose.
That was built just about when everything was, about in the 1965, 66 time frame. So
my high school that I graduated from was also built in the 60s around that time frame, and same thing, designed the same way where, really? You had stuff above ground, but a lot was underground in classrooms, and it was for the very same reason that when you talk about Goddard High, same reason.
Yeah, so they kind of like brings home to them, like you can say, we were key base, but then you actually see where when they were building structures like the high school, you actually built it underground had decontamination showers built in there and everything that's all locked up now. But yeah.
But that was for that purpose if things went south.
Yeah. So I graduated from Roswell High School. I said, okay, so that means at Roswell High School, sorry.
That's right. It's like, you need to get out on that end. But
yeah.
But that's always a unique part of history. But, of course, that's kind of where Walker Aviation Museum, it kind of celebrates some of that history. And then the people, really the big part is the people that called that base home and that area home. It's at a certain, certain times in their lives.
You could live anywhere in Roswell. You could walk outside or you out in the backyard working or front yard doing your yard. And it was definitely look up in the sky and hear the noise of the bombers flying around and taking off and stuff. It definitely knew you were in a place where there was a lot of aircraft.
I think people that live base life or near bases, that was just something.
My wife, we lived 30 years. She was married and we were 28 years married in the air. She was in the Air Force. I was 30 years, but so she got drug around and as she called it, and a lot of people call it, the sound of freedom. She misses hearing those airplanes flying around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was at Holloman, I could still hear at 2 a.m. they're running engines and
Yeah. Well, at Veal Air Force Base, the SR-71s would take off with those big afterburners with the flame coming out about 30 feet behind each engine, and they kind of go rattling over your house as it climbs out to get refueled at 26,000 so it could go ahead and go. It didn't ever take off with full fuel load, but it would take off and then immediately kind of refuel at 26,000 feet and then go to afterburners and take off and start flying at 200 feet per second faster than a 30-06 bullet coming out of the muzzle.
It's pretty impressive. I'm going to get off topic just for a second, but I watched a video clip over the weekend where it was Navy, and the Navy guys were on the aircraft carrier out to sea, and the F-18s were doing sound barrier flybys of the aircraft carrier.
Oh, really?
And that was wild to watch as the guys are on the deck there just watching this F-18. You see it go right where it goes to pop the sound barrier, just and then of course you know the sound and everything. It was really cool. But but that's that. If you ever get a chance to see that, that's a cool military or any of that. Anytime planes popping off the sound barrier and all that, it's pretty cool. But anyway, sorry I got sidetracked.
No, that's right. I didn't realize there's about 33 pages. I know Wikipedia isn't always accurate totally, supposedly, but it's pretty good starting point. But I got several from different sources, but there was some interesting political stuff going on in the Cold War with the B-36 bomber and the building of large aircraft carriers. I'll get into that here in a minute.
Okay.
So.
Well, good deal. Well, let's before we let's just kind of talk a little bit about some of the changes you guys, some personnel. And
we've got
talk a little bit about what the museum's got going on right now.
Yeah, we got AJ Olivas is currently a security guard at the air terminal.
Okay,
and he works daytimes, I think Friday, Saturday, and he works nights Sunday, Monday.
Okay,
and he said he'd kind of like to come out, and he likes history, and he's going to be one of our probably host out at the museum, maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday days.
Do some docent work out there?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah. And we recently lost good old Ted. Ted was dealing with some issues with family and stuff. But he was a really good addition and big history buff. And I was alazed every time I got around him. He was telling me all this stuff that I thought I knew a lot of stuff, but he kind of threw out a lot of facts. I was like, wait a minute, let me take notes here.
Yeah. Well, Ted's military service, he saw a lot of things, so he was plugged in pretty well.
Yeah, and he was, security and intelligence.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff where you ask him what he did, he'd say, well, I'd tell you, but I have to kill you.
Yeah, most of us are like, our hard day was turning wrenches, and he was doing
True. Yeah, we had, maybe we're going to get, maybe Allie Bishop and maybe Peggy Donnell might come out one day at the museums, give Bob Donnell and myself a break.
All right.
And as well as AJ Olivas, maybe in the February time frame. So
okay. And they're always looking for more volunteers if there's folks looking to get involved.
Yeah.
Obviously, mostly we think of retirees and things that have a little more free time in their hands, but
right.
But whoever has the time and desire to do it, we'd love to have you come out and be a part of it. All volunteer work. You meet some great people. If you're a people person and love to talk to people, then you might find this volunteer gig pretty fun because you get a chance to meet a lot of people, and you always hear cool stories because, especially in the summer months, you get a lot of people on vacation. They'll come to visit, like family and things, where maybe a family member served or their grandparents served here, or maybe they were here when they were little kids. And so you really get some great stories, and usually our docents are the first line that hear those and get to find out about those little nuggets of wisdom. So,
before we get much further, just a couple of things we just usually cover every time we have a get together, and that's again thank you some of the people that keep our doors open, and Pioneer Bank and Feather Stone Development Corp. And Glenn's Furniture is giving us some stuff. We have some large desks and stuff and chairs. 6th Bomb Wing Union Group gave some money. But David Petroleum, General Murray that used to be here, he sent us a little bit of his loose change.
Yeah.
No, that's good. But anyway, XL Energy, we got our flight simulators from them, and Roswell Toyota, Aircell used to be a big supporter, and other individuals like Phil Cathy and Dr. Engstrom and Lloyd Hughes and other folks out there. So we just appreciate any help that we can get.
Absolutely.
And another thing, I just might mention who our current board members are. Like, there's myself. I'm just, I'm the secretary nowadays. Allie Bishop is the treasurer. Katie Yates, Sandy Correa. Hope I pronounced her last name right. She's going to hit me. She's the president up until September.
Okay.
Well, starting until next September. Bob Donnell and Juliana Halverson, Judy Armstrong, Jerry Cloffer, Friar Jodik Nowaki, our priest, Catholic priest.
He's an awesome guy.
He's a cool guy. Yeah, Stephen Miller.
All of them are, but he's just one of those bubbly people that you can't help but like the first time you meet him, you get infectiously.
Doug Weiser, the manager for Cattle Baron. he's going to be our president coming up coming September.
Okay.
Peggy Bolin, and we miss Doug Murray. But he still kind of stays connected.
Kind of emeritus.
And our new advisory board member is Josh Bookson.
Okay.
I bet I got that right. He's going to hit me. I think it's Bookson.
And he's a newest member of the board.
Yeah, he's on the advisory board. He works out at the Mexico Job Corps type stuff.
Okay.
Not Job Corps, but out there at the college, and he's been very helpful and a really nice guy. So anyway, we just got a bunch of fun folks. So if you're thinking about you'd like to join us and be part of our group, we're really open for that.
Absolutely, it's a really fun. It's a fun opportunity to serve because you see some really cool stuff. You meet some great people, and really is just it is making connections with people, and that's a really cool.
One
part
of the things that is like we mentioned to people when they come out. I don't know if I'd say half of our mission, but a large part of our mission is working with kids and with careers and what they're going to do. So you have kids sitting around this week don't have to go to school until next week. So I could recommend if they got a cell phone or an iPhone, they could steal one from your mom or something, or a computer. If they go to our website, WAFB Museum, Walker Air Force Base, WAFB Museum.org.
Yeah.
And if you touch on the education little area at the top, you can hit see little horizontal lines. You touch that and it'll open up and you say, touch the education part. And what you'll get is several things. One is when you hit that, you'll see what the program we have out there where we can bring ideally only 8 kids at a time, where we can put 4 on the flight simulators for about an hour.
Okay.
And the other 4, we show them about 13 or 14 different careers off of YouTube. However, as you go down there, you'll see some of those titles of the YouTubes that we show for careers. And on an iPhone, all you have to do is touch that, and it'll play that video for you.
Okay.
So you can kind of play all the career stuff that we're going to show you right then.
Yeah. And
also, if you keep scrolling on down, you'll get past a list of YouTube career stuff that we've listed that we don't use, but it's there. It's interesting. And it's a list of YouTube aircraft videos. Then you run into an area that talks about pilot training. And it's a ground school, and there's 38 videos of professional pilot training. That's a total of 12 hours of training.
Wow.
And I guarantee you, if you watched all those and you went out and wanted to become a pilot or something, you got a jump start on a lot of things because it's some pretty detailed stuff.
Yeah.
And it's, really good professional. Then if you kind of scroll on down on the computer, it's at the top. On the iPhone, these 3 photos of Bob Donnell out there with the kids, 3 color photos. Right above those 3 color photos is a little area that talks about STEM education.
Okay.
So it says comprehensive list of STEM jobs. You touch that, and you go to a website, Occupational Network Online. It's onetonline.org, which you can actually go just search for yourself.
Okay.
ONETONLINE.org. onetonline.org.
Okay.
Anyway, when you touch that on where those photos are, you get 331 science, technology, engineering, or math type careers that pop up. They're all listed alphabetically, and you just touch it, and you get pages and pages of information and stuff on the skills you need, the job activities that you'll be doing, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Or if you just go straight to that website by itself, it lists 1,040 different jobs.
Wow.
And you just type in a job that you're interested in, and it'll either come up with that job or jobs that are very near what you typed in.
Okay.
And I believe the high schools here in Roswell use that website. But it's a really good website to kind of help you find out what you might want to do. You put in your zip code, it'll tell you where you can get training, and I think it talks about salaries and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, a lot of good stuff.
So if you're, kind of thinking about it, or if you just like, hey, I'd love to do that, what does it involve? You can kind of get your feet wet, start there, and decide, hey, if this is what you want to do, and start the path to that, or, okay, that wasn't what I thought it was. Let me think about something else. So it really lets you get your feet wet and see if you're into it without full on committing to the path a little bit here.
And that's something nice because people coming through our museum, we tell them about that. We give them a little business card that's got those, websites on there, and they're going back to Connecticut or going to Iowa or whatever. They can give it to their grandkids and they can look it up.
Well, even for folks that maybe you're not in high school anymore. You're a established
thinking, you know what?
Adult individual.
I think I need a change in jobs.
Or they just said, you know what? I've always wanted to learn to fly as a hobby or pastime.
Speaking of that, did you hear that on the news last night? They were saying, which is a little ways off, but by 2045, they're going to need 127,000 more pilots than they have today.
Wow. Well, you look at the COVID world.
Because some of them will be retiring, of course. But.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. You look at the air industry world, and we talk, in the holidays and the delays and everything that's going on. And the major problem is they're all short staffed. They don't have the personnel and it's all levels. It's at the airline level to the stewards and stewardesses, to your pilots, to your air traffic controllers, to your maintainers of these various aircraft and things. They're across the board having less people do that. COVID kind of was that thing where the people that have been doing it for years kind of said, I'm just going to retire.
Right.
And so they lost that pool of people. They didn't come back. And so now they're trying to scramble to get new people in that industry. And you're seeing what's going on is they're trying to play catch up
and that's
here. So.
One of the reasons where we don't have a flight going to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because, you have limited staff. And, before COVID, if everybody's remember, we had a flight, going to Phoenix. We had them going to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And they were on the verge of maybe looking at United coming in to have a flight going to Denver. So now we're back to, one flight coming in from Dallas, pretty late at night.
Sure.
And then that plane stays here and it leaves early in the morning. So and then you have a flight coming in around
noon. Just here to park
noon.
the plane every day, basically.
Yeah. So you have two flights going out of here to Dallas. So,
but that's the industry. So if there's young people looking for that place where they fit in or something that's interesting that they could, and here's the beauty of it is, guess what? Every place on the planet needs that line of work. So.
Yeah.
So, if you want to be here, you can be here. But
or an aircraft mechanic.
Yeah. Or if life takes you other places, as I know what happens, you meet your significant others, and it takes you around to different world. How do you think I end up in New Mexico?
Right.
I met my wife. But that's, that this is career type stuff that wherever
that's
life
why my wife's
takes
in
you,
New Mexico. She met me.
Yeah. But wherever life takes you, these are things that will help you, do well wherever you go. So please, and you could get halfway towards a pilot license without spending a dime, and it's all going through the Walker Aviation Museum. So
right.
Please research some of the stuff that we're talking about here.
So right quick, I just run through a quick thing on a B-36 bomber.
Yes, 8 minutes,
something like that. Anyway. 6 bomb wing medium was activated at Walker on 2 January 1951, and the bomber squadrons included the 24th, 39th, and 40th bomb squadrons.
Okay.
Initially had B-29s and then B-50s, or just modified B-29s. Later, in 1952, the wing was changed to the 6th Bombardment Wing Heavy when the new heavy bomber, the Convair B-36D Peacemaker, replaced the B-29s.
Okay.
And Convair was initially the Consolidated Vultee Aircraft Corporation, but also they built B-24s, which caused kind of a slowdown in the B-36. And this is what will surprise a lot of people. The B-36 initial design and development started in early 1941, prior to the U.S. being in World War II.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then people say, well, why was that? And the threat existed at that time that Britain might fall to the German Blitz, and they would need a bomber that could bomb Germany from North America in return. And this would be possible if you had a bomber that with a combat range of at least 5,700 miles to fly from Gander, Newfoundland, for example, to Berlin and come back.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, initial requirements turned out to be totally unrealistic, so the final requirements for the B-36 was the following: maximum ferry range of 10,000 miles, effective combat radius of 4,000 miles, at least a 10,000-pound bomb load, cruising speed of 240, 300 miles an hour, surface ceiling 40,000 feet above Nazis' anti-aircraft guns, except for their rarely deployed, 128 millimeter. But later, the Pacific War progressed, and the U.S. Air Force, U.S. Army Air Force, increasingly thought they, at that time didn't have, Tinian and all those other islands.
Mm-hmm.
They might have to fly bombing missions out of Hawaii, so they needed a long range. Okay, the U.S. Army Air Force submitted a letter of intent to Convair, ordering an initial production of 100 B-36s before the testing of the prototypes were actually completed. And the first delivery was to be in August of 1945 and the last in October 46. Delivery was delayed when they moved, Convair moved from San Diego, California to Fort Worth, and that slowed things up by 120 days. When the Cold War beginning in earnest with the Berlin airlift and 1949 atmospheric test, first test of the Soviets setting off their atomic bombs, American military planners sought bombers capable of delivering very large, heavy, first-generation atomic bombs. They were pretty big and compared to today's, where
sure
you can see the Minuteman missiles, little bombs that look like you could put in the trunk of your car. And just
Right,
drive
yeah,
off.
you could pack a punch. Well, and you mentioned something earlier. You were talking like some of those jets, and they had 10,000 pounds of ordnance on it. And I'm like, if you think about it, for them that's a lot.
Yeah.
But in the big scope of things, to have that much plane to only carry 10,000 pounds, or just by comparison,
Yeah.
an F-117. That's the one I worked on, so I'm a little bit more knowledgeable about it. But that has 2 bomb bays. It can carry 4,000 pounds of ordnance.
Wow.
That's that little plane.
That
and
little
that's
plane,
almost
4,000.
half of that ordnance that other plane could carry.
I know.
It's just to put things in perspective for folks on how different it is night and day now. So
Yeah. But that was what they designed. But when the B-36 could actually carry, I'll show here in a minute, was considerably more. So B-36 was the only American aircraft capable of attacking the Soviet Union from bases in the United States with the very large, heavy initial atomic bombs. Okay. And the first generation Mark 17 hydrogen bombs, which were 25 feet long, 5 feet in diameter initially, and weighed 42,000 pounds.
Jeez, you need the whole plane. You need to build the plane around that thing.
That's right. So defensive armament consisted of 6 remotely controlled 20-millimeter guns and a fixed tail and nose turrets of the same caliber. And the vibration when they fired those guns caused vacuum tube electronics to malfunction, and it also caused all kinds of other problems with the aircraft.
Man.
So later on, the newer B-36s were limited only to a tail gun turret, similar reduction, like the silver plate B-29s, which were modified for dropping the atomic bomb in Japan. They just had a tail gun.
Okay.
During the development in 1947, there was a battle over funding. This is interesting, which was won by the Air Force to keep the B-36, causing the Navy to lose funding for a supercarrier to be named the United States. This was in 1947. In 1949. And then it became known as the Revolt of the Admirals when Admiral Denfeld, Chief of Naval Operations, was fired. However, the congressional media furor over Denfeld's firing and the successful use of aircraft carriers during the Korean War resulted in the Truman administration firing Secretary of Defense Johnson and Secretary of the Navy Matthews and building the Forstall class carriers, which are similar to what the United States was going to be, carrier, and eliminating the fight between the B-36 and larger aircraft carriers. So they said, okay, we'll build the carriers and the B-36.
Gotcha.
The B-36 station in Walker was here from 1952 to 1958. And I can remember that because I came here when I was 9 years old and left when I was 15 years old. I could watch it flying around. Basic description and measurements of the B-36, 15 crew members, later 13. Wingspan of 230 feet, almost the length of a football field.
Wow, that thing's big.
Length of the aircraft, 162 feet. Maximum takeoff weight, 410,000 pounds. A little heavier than your stealth fighter.
Yeah.
Cruising speed, 230 miles an hour. Max speed, 435. Service ceiling, about 43,600 feet. And some of the later models could get up to 48 to 50,000 feet. Combat radius, 3,985 miles. But it could ferry 10,000 miles. And it could fly for 40 straight hours. They had actually an area the crew could go back and rest and eat and stuff like that.
Right.
And not necessarily a Luby's cafeteria, but
Right.
Yeah, right.
But that was pretty luxurious amenities for the time.
Yeah, and an initial bomb load now on the B-36 was 72 to 86,000 pounds.
See, that's a big difference.
And that's 4 times as much as a B-29.
Yeah.
I think it's like 10 times what a B-17. Anyway, engines often caused crews with 2 to 3 out of the 4 propeller engines running. It had 6 propeller engine, where it was those pusher.
Right.
Yeah, they had 6 28-cylinder radial engines and 4 rows, 3 blades, and the blades were 19 feet in diameter from the top to bottom. And that caused some vibration. 3,800 horsepower each, so 22,800 horsepower total. And then it added 4 turbojet engines to help during takeoff or speed dash over the target. And that added a total of 20,800 pounds of thrust.
Shoo-wee.
So anyway, maintenance issues for all you maintenance guys out there. Due to 185 octane required for the B-36 engines that quite often fouled the spark plugs, there was 56 in each engine.
Oof.
So during the service, they'd have to change 336 spark plugs.
Wow.
And I used to think it was bad changing eight spark plugs in my car, but anyway.
What are you doing today? Changing spark plugs?
Yeah, really. Also do the vibration and test firing of nearly the 20-millimeter guns. A lot of the light bulbs that would shatter down in the Bombay area and have to be replaced. And due to the size of the aircraft, there were no hangars really available to fit the aircraft. And they were stationed in the northern areas to be closer to Russia. And so maintenance crews getting out and working on them outside, not in a hangar, really facing a lot of terrible temperatures.
Yeah.
Changing 336 spark plugs when it's like 30 below zero.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And those things don't really work that well or they're a little angry in those kind of temperatures to begin with. So,
yeah. And so anyway, because it had 6, propeller engines and 4 jets, it was commonly called 6 turning, 4 burning. However, because of all the maintenance issues, the maintenance guys usually called it 2 turning, 2 burning, 2 smoking, 2 choking, and 2 unaccounted for.
Yeah,
that was a common state that maintenance guys were always saying. It's not 6 turning, 4 burning. It's 2 turning, 2 burning, 2 smoking, and 2 choking.
That sounds about right.
Anyway,
just for maintainers' mindset.
Maintenance guys had a little sense of humor.
Yeah, I know that world.
There were 3 engine fires and led to the loss of the first American nuclear weapon, which actually, luckily, only had a lead dummy core in it, but it still had the TNT, and it dropped off just off the coast of British Columbia in February 1950. And final comments, later models were again lightened so they could fly up to 50,000 feet or more, and the cameras could detect a golf ball on a green at 40,000 feet. And they never dropped a bomb or shot one thing in conflict. It just was there in case they needed it. And they would make their windows rattle even when they're flying at high altitude. And I can tell when they took off, it really made things vibrate because my mother hated them because it caused some of the vases and stuff she had on her piano top to vibrate off.
Yeah.
And,
and I imagine, well, here's the thing that really changed that whole philosophy and mindset is the ability to air refuel. Right. See, that's why these planes were bigger, faster, stronger. It was because they had to go longer, go farther. So they had to create these planes with 6 engines so they could literally drive around the planet without refueling.
Right.
And then they said, what if we design our air refuel where the plane can refuel while in midair? Therefore, then we don't have to spend as much money on these big hulking engines and things like that. We just hit. So now you see more
B-52s,
more modern bombers. They're
fighters,
or fighters. They hit tankers and things, so they don't need wingspans the size of Montana and 72 engines to get from point A to point B.
Part of the argument with the Navy and the Air Force was, they had that really big bomber that could go long distance with atomic bombs. Well, the Navy is saying, hey, we're going to build a really advanced carriers. And we can put attack aircraft on these carriers when once the bombs got smaller,
and that's the other
and they
thing
could
too,
carry atomic weapons as well.
Yeah, it's much more efficient.
So
to
they
bring
could
the military
just steam right up to within certain distances from an enemy. And
yeah, it's like, for instance, which these are now older planes, but the B-2 bombers.
Mm-hmm.
They literally fly all of their missions out of Missouri, Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
They hit tankers. Like if they're going to bomb Afghanistan or Iraq or anywhere in the Middle East, they fly out of Whiteman Air Force Base.
Yes,
they
sir.
hit tankers and they do their bombing, and they fly right back to Montana, Missouri, there, Whiteman Air Force Base.
Before the mission, they could swing by Burger King and get a little burger, and then in Missouri, and jump on their plane. And you're right.
Yeah,
really long missions.
Yeah, that's how they do it now. And so now we go to the Middle East. Like if it's a B-52 or something, they'll park those there. But B-2s they always kept here stateside, and they'll just send them wherever they need them to go.
So they're secure when they're
and I
back home
imagine
and
these
stuff.
new B-24s are probably something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is how they overcame the technology to do the things they wanted to do back. How we did it in the 50s and 60s versus how it's done now. And but that's the reason. And there's these marks in the innovation of history that kind of change. And for aircraft, when it comes to being able to bomb anywhere in the world, that air refueling changed the game for that. So that's why all these bombers we're talking about, they predated air refueling and things, because they literally had to build it so the plane could go from here to wherever in the world and back on a tank of gas.
That's right. By the way, I want to thank Ron Lynch before I forget about it. He built our little bicycle that the kids can pedal, and the light pole comes on, the fan comes on. And also we have our 10,000 watt generator, which lightning moves up between two rods. It's called Jacob's Ladder.
Okay.
And all the little kids love to come in and push that switch down. And then he just got through building a model of the Redstone missile with the Mercury capsule on top with a nice write-up.
Cool. Well, that's just it. We talk about, yes, we focus on the history and all that, and we want to get everyone to come and learn that, but please bring your families, bring your youth groups. If you have youth groups, you want to set up an appointment or a time to meet and maybe get a chance to get some of these kids. Like you said, you work really in groups of 8, kind of your strongest number.
Well, when we're doing the flight simulators.
Yeah.
Because we only have 2 flight simulators.
Yeah. But if you'd like to set something up for that, please reach out to go to wafbmuseum.org and shoot a message, and any of the board or volunteers will get out to you and get information back to you on this. But
yeah, we've had a science class out of the Catholic school here came to visit us, and we had a Boy Scout troop come with.
Yeah. By the way, if you're just young folks out there, anybody's looking, say, you know what, I want to learn more about getting my license and all that. Maybe I need to talk to them about getting some time on the simulators and learning some of these videos and more. Start watching some of that. Please reach out, and they'd love to help you do that too. So.
Absolutely.
Good deal. wafbmuseum.org is the website. If you'd like to make donations, that's a great way to do that. You'll find the Donate Now button there. If you'd like to visit and tour, they work around the flight schedule. So think about the right around lunch hour during the week here.
Right now, the plane leaves at 11:58.
Okay.
So we come in around 9:45 and leave about 12:20.
Okay, so get there late morning, and then through the lunch hour. And then you can come and tour the museum, and and come see all the stuff. By the way, you come hungry and eat at the airport. They got some pretty good burritos and what have you there at the restaurant there, and just make it an afternoon of it, and get to it's. I'm guarantee you're going to be really impressed with some of the things and stuff that's there, and the stories behind some of the stuff. It's a lot of times people end up going there just to go to the plane and get on their plane or get off their plane or pick up someone from the plane.
60% of the guys that walk in go straight to the three rifles that are on the wall. They have the World War II Russian rifle, the German rifle, and the Japanese rifle.
Guys, we're not hard to figure out. We're pretty easy But anyway, come check it out. Come be a part, and come see this history right in your own backyard here.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Well, as always, thank you very much, Robert, for the visit. And
sure.
We will see you next month. And happy 2024 to you.
Yeah, maybe get Doug Weiser to come in next month.
There you go. Bring him in, and we'll have some fun.
I kind of almost forgot about this coming up just right after New Year's, so I did didn't get a hold of him, so he might have come in today with us, but we'll get him
in for February here.
That's
so
right.
Good
Okay.
deal. Thank you as always.
Thank you.
All right, it is 7:57. Let's get you in your Wall Street business update. Quick break before news. Don't go.
Seasonings. Without garlic, most of our food would be dull and boring, kind of like watching C-SPAN. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. If you like to cook and like to grow things, you ought to try growing your own garlic. Come by Roswell Seed Company and we'll show you how. And next August, you'll have fresh, homegrown garlic to make your food taste great and keep the vampires away.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Closing in on 9 o'clock, Town Hall News up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. We are awaiting more information, and it is expected soon, on a shooting at a high school in Perry, Iowa. It's about 30 miles northwest of Des Moines. Gunshots rang out this morning on the students' first day back at class from their winter break. There's no information from authorities on injuries, if any, at this point, although the father of one student says his son did suffer a graze wound and hid in a classroom. First responders, police, and emergency medical personnel have converged on the school. In the words of one eyewitness, an adult, it was the most scared I've been in my entire life. FBI agents from the Omaha Des Moines office on the scene to help with the investigation, which is being spearheaded by the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation. Again, the school shooting in Perry, Iowa, and a news conference is expected within the hour. Speaker Mike Johnson delivered remarks at a press conference in Eagle Pass, Texas, while leading a delegation of 64 House Republicans amid a record influx of migrants.
The speaker described the border crisis as chaotic.
The situation here and across the country is truly unconscionable. We would describe it as both heartbreaking and infuriating.
He noted that under President Joe Biden's watch, there have been millions of migrant encounters and gotaways, adding that border agents have also apprehended hundreds of suspected terrorists trying to sneak into the country.
We have over 7 million illegal encounters at the border, nearly 2 million known gotaways, and that doesn't count the many that are undetected. 312 suspects on the terrorist watch list that have been apprehended.
Edwin Mora, Washington.
And it's a mixed picture on Wall Street right now. The Dow is up 191 points, while the NASDAQ trading 2 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Well, maybe a new car can help you keep that New Year's resolution.
Maybe you want to venture out more or spend less. The car experts at Edmunds have suggestions for you. For instance, there's the GR Corolla, 300 horsepower. You can go from 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. Starting price, about $37,000. If your New Year's resolution is to try something new, Edmunds points to the Hyundai Ioniq 6. This fully electric sedan, fun to drive, says Edmunds, is full of the latest technology. With a single motor and the largest optional battery, you can get up to 361 miles on a full battery charge, says Hyundai. Starting price, about $43,500. I'm Rita Foley.
A French report says the United Kingdom is not sufficiently coordinating with France in efforts to reduce the number of migrants illegally crossing the English Channel in small boats. The report speaking of the uncertain effectiveness of illegal migration policies. Townhall.com. Fed officials remain cautious when it comes to possible interest rate cuts this year.
The Federal Reserve's policymakers concluded last month that inflationary pressures were easing and that the job market was cooling. In response, they chose to leave their key interest rate unchanged and signaled that they expect to cut rates 3 times in 2024. According to the minutes of their December meeting, Fed officials indicated in their own interest rate forecasts that a lower benchmark rate would be appropriate by the end of 2024, given the steady progress towards taming inflation. But they stressed that they should remain vigilant and keep rates high until inflation was clearly moving down sustainably towards their 2% target. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And recapping the hour's lead story, shooting this morning at a high school in Perry, Iowa. There's nothing yet on possible injuries, but a news conference is expected shortly. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters. We're right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yep.
Hope your Thursday's going well. Have an overcast, foggy
It's very
day.
Very gray outside.
Hazy shades of winter.
It's a good day to be in a hoodie, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, this is I don't feel like working day. That's what this feels like to me.
Soup and a sandwich day.
Yeah. So hopefully your day's going well.
Yes.
But if you're off, then it's kind of like if you're not working today, people are still laying around in bed and stuff. Like if you don't have to be somewhere today, this is the day you're not.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You just do it later.
This is really the teacher's like peak vacation day.
Yeah.
They still have one left and the weekend, and then they have to go in for in-service day. But right now, this is just that I'm sliding into home plate. I'm going to enjoy every second of it.
Yeah.
Everything you do from here until tomorrow afternoon is going to be just relished.
Yep.
Cherish it, teachers. It didn't happen very often. Well, it does.
Every year.
Twice every year.
But those who get to enjoy the day off today, lucky.
Right.
But for the rest of us, got to slumber through it some way.
Yeah, here we are in the salt mines. Got to come make the ear donuts.
That's right. Happy Thursday. Wear a coat. Stay dry today.
Mm-hmm.
So although you know what, this is New Mexico and Roswell. Probably like 2 o'clock this afternoon is gonna be bright and sunny and 50.
Yeah, here's hoping.
I'm hoping.
Here's hoping we'll see the sun.
Yeah, but we'll see. But I don't know. I want rain. If we're gonna do this, just give me rain.
I will say this: I only saw the sun like twice or like 2 days when I was in Oklahoma.
Really?
It was cloudy, overcast, rainy, pretty much the whole way through.
Wow.
With the exception of like 2 good days.
What's that like?
It was it got old because it wasn't really rainy. It was just blech and cold and really, really freaking cold.
Yeah, Maryland, like growing up and you do that and you have those days too and you don't think much of it. But now that I've been here 20 plus years, it's like one of those days I'm like, this is weird. This is just weird.
It's very off-putting. There's one day, it was sunny, but it was freezing. It was like 33 degrees outside. So we took the kids to play in the park. They were fine because they were, running, burning energy, whatever. We were sitting there watching them. And at one point I realized the sun was to our back. We were sitting on this green, like fake grass hill. If we just turn to face the sun, our legs will be warmed by the sun. Sure, we have our backs to our children, all three of us.
Yeah.
But our legs will be warmed by the sun. And we all three were horrible parents and grandparents that just turned into the sun.
You need to do the, what's that? The Adam Sandler movie, the Adults, or what is that called?
Grown-Ups?
Grown-Ups, thank you. It's one of the Grown-Ups movies where they're taking turns looking at the girl. And he's like, all right, you look, now you look away. You had to implement something like that.
And
like
it was
two back and one forward.
Every now and again, I would just kind of look over shoulder. And be like, 1, 2, 3. They're good. Yeah, they're good.
Mirrors.
Right, there you go. That's what we should have had. Oh, Alex fell.
Yeah, that's what you got the mirrors for. So, but happy Thursday.
Yes.
Hope your day's going well. And all right, this is a thing that in the last 24 hours I've been seeing online, but I didn't know this was a thing. And I asked my wife and Andrew about this yesterday, and they explained a little bit. I still don't get it.
Okay.
Apparently, there is a wave of people that have to have a Stanley Cup. And I'm not talking about the trophy awarded to the NHL.
Like a lot of aspiring hockey
championship
players.
team. I'm talking about the company Stanley makes cups like these, Yeti or whatever style cups.
Well, they're like the new thing.
Well, apparently they're like, and I saw Target, but I'm guessing it's whoever sells these, like they can't keep them on the shelves.
Oh yeah,
There's
no,
like
they're flying.
like are tackling people to get these stupid cups.
Do you know the story?
Like, what's the big deal about the cups?
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the story that set them on the map.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they were big before. Like they were a big known thing. There was a guy who I can't remember if he got into a car accident or if his car just burst into flames. Basically, he was driving and something went malfunction in his car and it burst into flames. His entire car was like engulfed in flames. They never were able to get it out. It just burned and burned. But inside the car, the only thing that survived was his Stanley Cup, and it still had ice in there.
Oh,
and
so
everybody's making a huge deal about how this cup stays cold even in Inferno.
Okay, that's nice.
From what I gathered, the Stanley Company reached out to him and like bought him a new car and like a whole new set of Stanley
good for him,
stuff.
man. I love all that, but people are rubes.
Yeah, it was a
like
big...
if that's what it takes to get you to go buy a cup and go beat people and do nefarious things to get a cup.
Dude, it's so weird what we choose to destroy each other over.
Yeah.
My kids have been like melting down because I haven't, and I finally did, thanks to, I know it's not Friday, but thanks to my McDonald's points, finally buckled down and got them both a Happy Meal. But that's like a down payment. It's not cheap. Because my kids wanted the Squishmallow Happy Meal toys. Like I went to try to buy one the other day, and most of the time they'll sell you the Happy Meal toy separately. They won't do that this time. They sold me 2 toys, and they ended up giving me 2 of the little preschool bunny toys. I gave those to my kids, and they were... You'd have thought I took dinner away from them. They just looked at me like
the ones they wanted.
I kicked their puppy.
Are they still doing the chicken nuggets? The
Kerwin.
The Kerwin nuggets.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay.
But the point is, it's amazing what we lose our minds over. These little, they're not even like Squishmallow. The whole sell of them is that they're. Have you ever squeezed a Squishmallow?
I don't think I have.
You got to squeeze a Squishmallow. Next time you're at Walmart, grab a Squishmallow and just give it a squeeze.
Okay.
They're the softest things on the planet.
All right.
They really are. It's like owning a chinchilla.
Okay.
They're really soft.
I've never heard of them, but all right.
But anyways, kids love them. Especially bigger kids like teenagers. All 4 actually of my nieces and nephews were gaga over Squishmallows. But anyways,
people just need a hug. Sounds like
the mini ones that they have at McDonald's aren't even that squishy. They're not even that like mallow squish material. So it's like, what are we making such a big deal about this?
Yeah,
people just choose weird things to get gaga over.
Well, all I know is if you have a Stanley Cup, protect it because people want it.
Yeah.
All because you can, if your car bursts into flames, you'll still have a cold drink.
I really feel like somebody Somebody needs to skate over and give Alex Ovechkin just a Stanley Cup. Have him hold. If he holds it and they get a picture, that's gold.
That's right.
He just looks at it like, why?
Will your Stanley Cup survive a fire? No,
I don't think so.
Actually, that Stanley Cup's probably been way worse than whatever Stanley Cup you have.
Oh, God only knows the liquids that have stayed cold, hot, or lukewarm in that cup.
That thing's been in pools. It's fallen out of limos, cereal, ice cream. I know it was on the Howard Stern show, and Jackie Martland took a fake poo in it.
Okay. That's a video. I don't want to watch a video. No. I'm trying to find a thing about why the Stanley Cup thing became a viral sensation.
I just, 2 days ago, I just started seeing TikTok videos of people losing their ever-loving mind over these cups.
No, that's
and so I was like, what is this all about? And then, because Stanley's the company that makes like toolboxes and tools and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Stanley helps you do things right.
They've definitely branched out into the cup market.
Well, I want to know is why don't Yeti and these other companies light theirs on fire and see if it does the same thing?
It says with only a slight difference in temper retention during testing, we don't feel one cup reigns far superior. If you're looking for a reputable tumbler, if you're looking for a larger option, turn to Stanley. Otherwise, Yeti seems to be a decent option also. But there you go.
I don't know. All I know is, this cup is a new cup. My wife got it for me Christmas. But my other cup, which is just as good a cup.
Yeah.
Only difference is that one's shorter and fatter, where this one's taller and skinnier.
It fits into a cup holder,
which I like a little better.
Yeah.
But I think I paid $15 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't pay $80 or whatever they charge for a Yeti thing. Or,
dude,
I'm guessing these Stanley ones are probably just as expensive.
Speaking of, sort of, just because one of my nephews got a tumbler when we went, there's a Goodwill in Oklahoma City that you pay for things by the pound.
Okay.
It's the coolest concept ever because, first of all, you have just a bunch of people, they hold them back and they roll out all these bins of just stuff. Okay. You don't know what's in these bins. It could be electronics. It could be shoes, clothes, whatever, just stuff. And then they pull the chains and people just rush in and start just going through all these bins, just trying to find anything and everything. My brother-in-law, he got these, they're like bone conduction headphones. Okay. You put them behind your ears and you can hear the music from their vibration. Nice. Really cool. But you just find all kinds of weird stuff. But everything is paid for by the pound.
Okay.
So I got clothes for my kids. I got some Christmas presents for the nieces and nephews.
You know what they should do, and I think it would be just as popular, is take those bins and just fill them with stuff, and tell everybody, okay, you're paying $10 for a bin. There's guaranteed to be at least $10 worth of stuff in there, but it could be hundreds of dollars. We don't know. And if they just said, here's $10, you buy a box, could be $100 worth of stuff in there, could be $15. Right. But you get what you get. And people would love that.
That would be a really cool idea too.
Yeah.
People love the idea of a mystery box. Of course, you can kind of do the same thing on Amazon.
Yeah.
With if you just go and buy the returned items or whatever.
Yeah.
They just we'll send you a box of mystery whatever.
Yeah. But I think that would be, especially if you got knickknacks and things that you don't quite know what to do with or classify, throw in the box.
Right.
And, it could be some sunglasses in there.
I saw everything from an induction blender, one of those, handheld stick blenders, to, and I didn't see the plug with it, or I probably would have gotten it, a hot dog toaster.
Ooh.
It's got the thing where you put the buns on either side and a spot for your sausages or hot dogs or whatever, and it's a toaster for it. I was like, that's genius.
My mom and dad, when I was a child, had a gimmicky hot dog cooker. And it was smaller. You can only cook 2 or 3 hot dogs on it.
Sure.
But it looked kind of like a old carnival popcorn machine or something.
Okay.
And so you put the hot dogs in, and it had the rollers like 7-Eleven or something.
Right.
And you put them in there, and then on top of the glass case, there was a little grate it was basically a plastic grate with holes, and you put the bun on top to steam the bun.
That's cool.
But it was kind of made up to look like a carnival popcorn deal or something. And
we've been finding fancy ways to cook very few hot dogs for generations.
In all fairness, it did cook a hot dog, but you got to put it on and then go to work and then come home and then you have a hot dog. So it took a while.
It's a slow cooker.
Yeah. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a little bit. Then we're going to play our interview we had yesterday with Tracy and Hope from the Roswell Adult Center. And they've got a list of all kinds of stuff going on here in the new year. Classes for everybody, whether you want to get into like lapidary, rock polishing, to yoga, to any other physical fit, all kinds of stuff. Pool, billiards. They got a lot going on there. So we're going to play that interview here in just a bit. Later on in the hour, we're going to get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, here is your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We've got low pressure moving across our area today. We'll be getting a mix of rain and snow showers this morning, but all rain this afternoon before tapering off late in the day. Our high should be in the low 50s, and then things clear out tonight. We'll have partly cloudy skies dropping to about 30. Friday looks good. We're in the mid-50s with sunshine, and then fair for the upcoming weekend. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 38 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 86%. Winds are out of the south at 8 miles per hour. A lot of eights there. 20% chance of rain for today. Patchy fog supposed to linger around till about noon. Partly cloudy for today with a high of 48. Winds out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. 30% chance of showers, mainly before 9 p.m. tonight. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 29 degrees. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Friday, mostly sunny tomorrow, 54 for a high. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night with an overnight low of 28 degrees. Winds out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For your weekend on Saturday, mostly sunny and a high of 49, but the winds will be blowing out of the northwest, 10 to 15 in the morning, increasing 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour by Saturday afternoon. Mostly clear Saturday night, overnight low of 25. Mostly sunny Sunday with a high of 55, and then a slight chance of rain. Rain, and then changing over to rain and snow Sunday night, 20%, and then a 30% chance of some snow for the afternoon on Monday, too. So we'll see. High is only 44, so it's not going to be that much snow. It's 44. All right, it is 9:21. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with the ladies from the Roswell Adult Center. Don't go away.
What's the buzz all about? The Honey Depot, Artesia's little store with a whole lot more. You'll find an unbelievable selection of one-of-a-kind gifts and decor. Everything from candles to soaps, books and Bible study journals, home decor, local honey, seasonings, candies, and more. Not to mention a staff that's sweeter than honey. So buzz on in. If you can't find it here, you probably don't need it. Open Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 5:30, Saturdays 10 to 6, closed Sunday and Monday at 104 West Hermosa Drive in Artesia. Shop local. Shop Honey Depot, the little store with a whole lot more. Knowledge is the power to see more, do more, and be more. As one of the most affordable universities in the Southwest, Eastern New Mexico University has helped thousands of people like you earn a degree. Spring 2024 at ENMU is the perfect time to get started with affordable tuition, great scholarships, and a wide range of in-person or online classes. Learn your power. Apply today for spring 2024 at enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're
about. Hey neighbors, there's a new source for all your appliance needs in the area. We're Roswell Appliance Outlet. We sell new minor scratch and dent appliances, and we'll help you save 40 to 60% off of MSRP. All come with warranty and personalized service. We also offer parts and service for your existing household appliances. We offer financing and delivery options as well. Don't make that big box store mistake. Come see us at Roswell Appliance Outlet today at 600 South Main in Roswell, or call 575-363-9236.
Roswell Appliance Outlet, a proud supporter of Roswell Sports.
Go Cowboys!
This is Dallas Cowboys football 2023.
2nd and 5 at the Detroit 8.
Only heard here.
Snap to Prescott, standing and looking and throwing right.
All season.
Brandon Cooks. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Sunday afternoon, it's your Cowboys and the Washington Commanders.
Live from FedEx Field.
On this Dallas Cowboys radio network station.
Pre-game at 1:30, kickoff at 2:30. On your official Dallas Cowboys station, 92.9 The Brand.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from the Roswell Adult Center, Tracy Schultz, and one of the instructors as well, Hope McKinley as well. Good morning, ladies. How y'all doing today?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great.
Good. Let's get you a little close to the mic so they can hear you a little better. I always tell them to eat the mics. They kind of. So how was y'all's holiday, the New Year's, all that? Everything
Mine was fabulous.
Awesome. Christmas, everything went well?
Yes, my whole family came in from out of town, all my kids and my dad.
Good deal.
So we had a great time.
Good deal. Of course, over the holidays, not all of the recreation side of the city of Roswell was open, but there was quite a few stuff going on over the holidays for families to do, while they had some downtime over the holidays. But now that we're kind of past that, you guys are going to gear up for the new year here, and there's a ton of events and things. And I know you hear a lot about the different sports and recreation, swimming and things that are going on at the Recreation and Aquatic Center, and sign up. There's so many things, but don't forget there's a whole world at the Adult Center of activities and things that I get it. Kids are surround everything, and we do the world, and we're like kids, but sometimes you need a little adult time, time away from the kids. Something that doesn't involve, Elmer's glue and you know what I mean, and a fruit punch of some kind.
Yes, yes.
So that adults get to talk. And so the Roswell Adult Center does have a slew of activities for adults of all ages, not just seniors.
18 and older.
Yeah, not
we
just
are
seniors.
18 and older.
And so we would invite folks to come in, and especially if you're making New Year's resolutions about getting active or getting involved, or just maybe being more. Getting out and being more social and things like that. The Adult Center can help you out with some of that stuff.
Yes, indeed. We have actually, with mentioning working out, we have back in March we used our grant for about $50,000 and got all new cardio equipment. So we now, instead of one room of partially used stuff, kind of broken stuff, we now have 2 rooms.
Good deal.
Of amazing equipment.
So come and try it out and give it. And if you and here's the thing. It's not crowded all the time. So if you're thinking, oh no, it's people are thinking the same thing you are, and they're not coming. So
exactly.
Come in and utilize it.
Yes, that's exactly why some of the people say they like coming, because it's not the busy, it's not the heavy flow of traffic. They can come in and work out and not feel like they're under someone else's eye.
Or
and they can be comfortable learning.
Feeling rushed or feeling judged.
Yes, exactly.
that seems a lot in our world today too. So.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So come. There's a whole wealth of resources at the Adult Center.
Yes.
That I think a lot of people just, for whatever reason, just seems to kind of fly under their radar a little bit.
I keep getting. I just moved here about 3 years ago, maybe 4. But I started working for the city 2.5 years ago, and people still come in and they go, we've lived here our whole life, and we didn't even know the Adult Center was here.
Yeah.
They had no idea.
Well, come explore new things and learn. If you're one of those folks that's like, I've heard of that thing, but I've never actually set foot in it. Come on in. It is not. It's a different facility than the Recreation and Aquatic Center. It's actually a little older, because that was the facility that's seniors and that we all kind of associate senior activities with stuff at the Adult Center, and certainly there's a lot of that there. And if you're looking for that stuff, it is there. But please understand, it's not all for retirees and seniors. If you're an adult that wants to do things that doesn't involve popsicles and 2-year-olds, then maybe this will be.
Yes. We have events that we're trying to angle more towards a younger crowd. We just did at Halloween, we did Clue, and then people asked for us to do it again, so we did a Christmas Clue.
Good deal.
Whereas instead of a board, the building is your board.
Yeah, it's like
and
a
mystery,
it was a whole
fun, scavenger hunt thing. We had a great, and they asked for another one. So again, at Easter, we're going to do another one.
That's great.
And it's a lot of fun. We make it kind of dark and fog out the rooms and stuff like that, and we have a good time.
Great group activities.
Yes.
For fun if you want to do it as a family or do it with your friends. Either way, it's a fun opportunity.
Exactly.
So, and unique things that you never different, because that's the thing. And people that say, and this is across the board, the people that say there's nothing to do in this town are not looking.
You're absolutely right.
Maybe you could have made that argument 20 years ago.
Yes.
But today there's every weekend in this town, through the city alone, there's usually 3 or 4 events. And that's not counting all the private and other activities that go on in the city. But through the city alone, there's usually 3 or 4 events every weekend, whether it's sports going on at the rec center or something at the zoo or something at the museum. There's always something going on here.
Absolutely. There's, and we have, I brought Hope along because Hope's one of our fabulous instructors. She not only teaches one class, she teaches, I believe, 3 or 4 different.
I have a stretch class. We call it a senior workout class, but it's really just a light workout.
Okay.
We use light weights and we sit in the chair to do our crunches and stuff.
Encouraging people to be physical.
Yeah,
when
just waking
they
up
have
your
limitations.
muscles, or you can use heavier weights and get a little bit more out of it. I have a yoga class, which my yoga class is geared toward osteoporosis right now.
Okay.
I'm learning about how yoga actually brings bone density back. So that's kind of what I'm gearing it towards, but it's for anybody.
Sure.
And nobody is too old or too out of shape because we use modifications. We use chairs, we use the walls, we use blocks, we use straps. So everybody is encouraged to go at their own pace in all of my classes. And I have a step aerobics class.
And that's the beauty of yoga and those types of programs is it doesn't matter your physical fitness or health level. Especially like maybe you're recovering, rehabbing from a stroke or something like that. You're going to find that a lot of these things that you're learning in yoga and stuff like that are helping or kind of working in concert with whatever rehab you're doing right now.
Well, with my senior workout class, sorry about that.
No problem. It's a Murphy's Law. If you have your phone on the radio
I didn't
show,
even think about it.
It's going to go off. It's just one of those Murphy's Laws.
In my senior workout class, I have a few people who have come in that are rehabbing that are amazing results. I mean, from the time they started till now.
And I imagine you see people that had very limited movement and they started doing this, and now they're seeing 20, 30, 50% increase in some of that movement or some of that freedoms and things.
There's one gentleman that started with a cane, and he walks very slow and very short steps, but to see the progression just from going, and he only comes to her 2 classes, and that's it.
And the beauty of these classes, they're very affordable or free. That's the thing is they don't cost, or it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to do this stuff. And you, like you said, you go at your own pace. You go, and if you're ready to do the advanced stuff, we can get you some of there. But we're going to teach you to crawl before you start walking.
Absolutely.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Our cost is only $29 for the year. And with that $29 for the year, you get all of our continuous fitness classes.
It's a whole year of membership.
So that's video walking, aerobics, step aerobics, yoga. We have a gentleman who comes in, we call it our active adults class. He is a personal trainer. He works with small groups, and he works back in the cardio room. He'll help you with anything back there you want to learn how to use, and he puts you on circuits for his class. And he's amazing. He's
it's like
really
having a
amazing.
personal trainer, a personal, kind of a Sherpa guiding you through this stuff.
Yes.
And for a yearly fee of $30.
Exactly.
Basically.
Or $2 a visit if you want to just come and give us a try for a day or 2.
Sure. See if
$2
it's your
a
thing.
visit. Yeah, absolutely.
And hey, what if you botch Christmas? If you botch Christmas, maybe you can remember and say, "Hey, I just bought you a year membership at the adults."
Exactly.
Go and take some classes and have some fun and do all that. So you can, you know what? You can always make good if you botch Christmas real bad here, or,
And even with that $29 a year, it has all that fitness, but it also includes the pool room with the 4 pool tables that you can go back and relax and hang out with those guys back there. And those guys have a
the
blast
social
back
side.
there.
Yeah,
Yes,
come and make some new
absolutely.
friends. And now you got pool buddies. Who knows? And it turns out you got pool night. It's like, oh, I can't go. It's pool day. We go and play billiards for a couple
We have a
hours.
gentleman who is there before we open the doors in the morning, and he's there when we close the doors for just to play pool all day.
Some folks, that's a lifestyle. It's not just a hobby. It's a lifestyle for some of those folks.
Yes, we have learned that.
And so if you want to be a part of that, if you're looking for you're thinking, man, I haven't played billiards in years. I'd love to get back into doing that. Well, guess what? There's some people ready and waiting to invite you into
They will teach you everything and anything. They are great back there. They love teaching new people who come in the door.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably a few that can do even some of them trick shots you see on like those videos and stuff from time to time.
Hope's husband is actually one of the guys that goes back and does pool, and he knows a lot of the guys back there also, and so she's in that.
You ain't back there hustling people. No,
we play in the pool league, and some of the guys that come back, they're playing the pool league with us, and some of them used to, but there are some really good pool players that.
Yeah,
that
so if you want to come
hang out
meet some
back there.
people, if you love billiards and things, or maybe you want to get into it. Maybe it's a game you always wanted to do, but he's like, I always embarrass myself every time I get out there. Well, come and let them rub off on you for a little bit. Next thing you know, you can at least be proficient. So you can hold your own in there and all that. But that's what the Adult Center is about. It's about giving new opportunities to people or giving them opportunities to continue to do the things they love. It's kind of, so if you maybe you were active a lot and life just kind of changed that and slowed you down, and now you're starting to get extra things in places. That's what happens when we get older.
Well, we also have the lapidary.
Okay.
I don't know if a lot of people know we have the lapidary, and there you can go in and play with rocks.
Okay.
Go in there and take a little rock and turn it
polishing
into something cool.
and all of
cutting
that.
and polishing, and then
That's
we have
very cathartic, by the way.
Stained glass class, which is pretty popular, and the instructor teaches you how to make cool little things with the stained glass.
And there's a lot of that side too. If you always wanted to learn these, especially these skill sets that take a little bit of talent, and you always wanted to do it, but life didn't present the opportunities. Well, here it is. This is come see it. $30 a year, basically. You could come and do anything and everything there.
For those classes, those actually start next week because we have 6-week sessions.
So you better get on the stick here if you want to sign up for those.
They start next week, and so with those 6-week sessions, we have a beginning sewing quilting class that the ladies from Calico Cow are going to come out and instruct for us.
Angel and her folks.
Yes, exactly. We have the lapidary, which is the rock cutting.
Mm-hmm.
We have line dancing, which Hope teaches also, our basic line dancing, which is more of the popular dances that you would do.
Well,
and then
the music and everything.
Mine is the fun class. Mine is the ones that you're going to do in a nightclub, plus ones that you've probably never heard of. But mine is, it's all fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing professional. There's nothing fancy. It's
and
all
if you screw up, it's okay.
And we laugh at you, and you'll laugh at me because I mess up, and it's just fun. It's good exercise.
Everybody, there's going to be the one that goes left when everyone went right. That's just what happens.
All the time. It happens all the time, yeah. And it's my class is just fun. We have the line dance class that Margie teaches.
that Margie teaches, and hers is intermediate.
Yeah.
And I'm going to guess you're going to open your social circle because that's that class, yes, it's to get active and to have fun, but at the same time, it's a social class. It's a class for dancing and laughing and yucking it up.
Mine is. Margie's is not. Hers is more
serious.
Yeah, mine is not serious at all.
Well,
mine is like, hey, you see a line dance on a video that you want to learn? Tell me. Well.
Yeah. And then for the ones that are like, this is a serious thing, it's kind of like when you do 5K races. There's the folks like most of us. We're just kind of, we're just finding a weird outfit to wear as we goof around for 5K. And then there's those folks that's like, I'm trying to break my time. I did it last time. I did it with record time. I'm trying to beat that one. And you know what? We got both of you covered. So if you want to be serious and you want to take this, it's like, no, I'm trying to push the limits so I can do this move or whatever it is. Great, we can do that.
Yes.
But if you're like, I just want to fall around and goof around and have some fun and learn some dance moves and just meet some people, then we got that covered for
Absolutely.
you too. So,
we also have a racket taps. I guess they've been around the city for a while.
Okay.
They were at Miss Minnie's for a little while. They were at the Adult Center, and now they're back at the Adult Center.
Okay.
And
Explain what those are.
It's tap dancing for seniors.
Oh,
but anybody can come, 18 and up. But it's a group that apparently, from what I understand, has been around for years at the Adult Center. And then I want to say maybe pre-COVID, they went over to Miss Minnie's, and now they want to come back.
Now they're coming back.
They're going to have a blast.
Old, pardon the pun, stomping ground.
Everybody loves our gym floor. Everybody loves our gym floor.
Yeah.
All the dance classes and everything says we have the best gym floor.
Those tappers are like, man, I miss the tapping sound of that floor.
Yes. So we'll be able to start all that next week. People can come down to see us and register, or they can go online to roswellconnect.com and get registered. And any questions, they can give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely. For folks, when it comes to city resources, if you have questions about your water bill, or you want to talk to your city councilors, or have information or questions about when the next city council meeting on, Roswell has their government website, which is roswell-nm.gov. That's where, if you want to do everything there. Now, everything for the recreation side of Roswell, including passes at the aquatic center, zoo. If there's events at any of these facilities, generally that's where you purchase tickets at. You go to roswellconnect.com. And that's the recreation side for everything related to the city of Roswell. Now, if you want to kind of see the adult center stuff, this is what how I found it pretty easy. When you go to the Roswell Connect, you're going to see one of those tabs at the top says facilities. Well, click on the facilities tab and you're going to see the aquatic center and all. Click the one that says the adult center. And that will take you there and you'll see a schedule. And you can sort it by dates and everything else. So all these events. Look, I'm telling you, we were just talking about events. I'm literally looking at pages and pages of events that are coming up at the adult center. So if I'm guarantee you there's going to be a physical fitness or a social thing or a craft class or something that's going to be in your wheelhouse. And if it's not the next week or two, it'll be in the coming months here.
We also have the hospitality room, which is free.
Okay.
Everybody can come in. That was a room set by city council with the prices.
Okay.
That room is free. We have concessions in there. We sell coffee. We sell drinks. But it used to be pre-COVID, from what I understand. Again, I just, wasn't here around that time. Just Domino's players all over the place.
Okay.
Our Domino's players have not come back. We would love for them to come back.
We will set the tables up. Come on down.
We have some ladies that play mahjong every Tuesday. They would love for people to come and play with them.
Come play some bones at the adult center here.
Yeah. So the extra classes like the line dance class and the stained glass class, it's not included in the $29.
Okay, those are extra.
Yes, those are extra. You do have to register for them.
Okay.
They're 6-week sessions.
They are, yes.
I'm going to guess, too, that covers materials and things. You could probably take home projects and things from that when you do that.
Stained glass, you do.
Yeah.
Lapidary. Lapidary is a lot of fun because lapidary is also, our teacher is amazing. She is a volunteer 100% teacher, and she takes them on field trips. And she goes and they meet out at mines out at Ruidoso out that way. If everybody can go, they'll go and search for rocks and then come back, cut them open.
You get to learn a little geology on top of your art.
You absolutely do.
And she's very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
She knows a lot about rocks, and what she doesn't know, she can find. She'll find for you.
I think that industry needs to thank the movie Shawshank Redemption. You ever seen that movie?
Absolutely, one of my favorites.
I think more people took an interest in lapidary on the scene where he got the rocks and he liked to make the chessboards and all the things he did over the years. I think it gave people a reason to want, like, oh, I love that. I would love to be able to do that kind of stuff myself. Well, if you do, this is the class for you.
I've literally been there 2 years, and she would bring me all the rocks, and she would show me. The students come and show me. I hadn't gone back there, and then with the break, it's kind of calmed down.
Yeah.
So she's like, Tracy, come on back. I cut my first rock. I sat and shaped it, and time just, as you're sitting there, time just disappears.
I was about to say,
it's so awesome.
It's therapy.
Yeah,
yes.
It's probably very cathartic.
Therapy.
It's very, because it's your world, and that's just art in general. When whether it's painting or ceramics or it's your vision, your thing, and it's no different with lapidary. You're seeing the rock, you're creating whatever vision you're seeing from it. It's there's no rules. I mean, there's techniques and there's ways to achieve things, but when it comes to art, it doesn't have to be polished that way if you don't want it to.
You take an average looking rock and you turn it into something amazing. And then Thelma makes the most amazing jewelry. She works with the silver and stuff, and she makes amazing jewelry, and she's passing that along to her students. She helped me a lot. That's how I met Tracy. I was playing around in the lapidary, and Thelma taught me a lot, and I make just whatever. I mean, there's all kinds of cool things to make.
And you can make stuff that looks like $1 million, but doesn't cost $1 million. That's the thing.
Indeed.
You're like, whoa, what is that? That thing looks like the Hope Diamond over here.
My grandkids get rocks for Christmas all the time. Not this year. I didn't get into it this year that much, but I'm getting ready to get back into it. But
Good deal.
My grandkids for Christmas, they know they're getting something that has to do with a rock usually.
I think you should start a new trend and combine lapidary and yoga, because I like to do all these different yogas. I think we could combine lapidary and yoga. I think there is a meeting of the because they're both kind of put you in a headspace. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I think there's a way. I mean, if you
could get on a yoga ball and just kind of.
If you can convince people to pay you money to have a goat stand on your back while you're doing yoga, then we can do something.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying. but seriously, if you've kind of not realized that you have this gem, pardon the pun, in your own backyard here, then you need to make a trip to the Adult Center and come find out. 807 North Missouri is the address. You can call it direct, 575-924-6718. If you have any questions about any of their upcoming events or anything we talked about here, or if you're saying, I just heard on the radio, I want to be a member. Well, come on down or call and they can set it up. Can they sign up for membership on the online too, or is it best to do it in person?
They can go on, they'll create their own account.
Okay.
And then from creating their own account, then they can go ahead and register. Okay. If they have any questions, they can call us. If they have a problem, they just want to come on in and check us out.
Sure.
You're more than welcome to come walk around and we'll help you out with getting your account.
And like I said, if you just want to get your feet wet and do one or two things, you pay $2 that day to enjoy it, and then, test all this stuff out, sample, take a class, or join in on one of the classes here. And if it seems like something you'd like to do and again, then don't put your $2 back in your pocket and go get your membership, and then you don't have to worry about it.
And then we also, real quick, we do rentals. So on Saturdays, if you have a party going on or something like that and you want a place to have it, a lot of people, when the weather started getting bad, needed a place to come in.
Need a facility?
We have 2 rooms. We have our gym, which is $50 an hour, and we have what we call our large classroom, room 22, which is $40 an hour.
Okay. And what's capacities for things you can host in
the
those?
Gym, I believe, is 268.
Okay, so pretty big.
And the room 22, I want to say, is just at like 220.
So you can host pretty big events in either one of those.
We've actually had 2 going on at the same time where we've had to like keep people on one side of the room and one side of the building and the other side of the building.
Keep their dances separate.
But it's really nice. You get the room, you get tables, you get chairs. You bring in your decorations, you clean up after yourself. It's all there inside for you.
That's the beauty of having these city facilities. This is your community. This is your stuff. Utilize it. That's what it's there for. This is what we create these opportunities in town, in our city. Does this stuff, and this is that point to get them back to what we were saying before. For folks that think there's nothing going on in this town, you're not trying. It really you're literally ostriches with your head in your sand, because there's stuff literally happening right around you if you just open your eyes and look.
Absolutely.
The Roswell Connect app is another thing for you high-tech folks. That you can download that, and then you can kind of stay up to date on what different other businesses and stuff that are signed up with the Roswell Connect. You could see what events they've got going on, and this is all through the city. They put you in connection. And at any time, you can walk down to that visitor center here in the downtown, and they'll be happy to direct you into any of the facilities there. And of course, if you want to do some sightseeing, they can put you in the right direction on that too.
Yes.
But come by the Adult Center today. Come in for a visit. Talk to them. And like you said, if you're not internet savvy, no problem. Just come on into the Adult Center. The staff there will help you navigate with whether you want to sign up for membership or check out one of the classes, or any of that stuff. Now, if you want to get on some of these yoga classes, you need to sign up this next week or two, right? Because the classes are starting.
Yoga is ongoing. Any of our fitness is ongoing.
Okay, those you can jump in at any time.
Exactly. Yeah. Our 6 weeks ones are the one like the stained glass, the line dance, lapidary. We have computer class. We have a basic computer class and an intermediate computer class.
Great.
All of those are 6-week sessions. And if you come in and visit me, I have a calendar that has everything on it as to when our sessions start and our sessions end, and our events for Back to the 80s with or without skates coming up in 2 weeks. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that event here.
So it's going to be, we had a roller skating class for a while, and it did really good. Just some of the ladies' things came into play, and it kind of melted out. Some still come in and do some skating here and there. So we decided to give them a night and everybody else, and we're going to set it up like a roller rink. Okay. We're going to have an inside area for dancing and an outside area for roller skating.
All right.
And it's going to be come in your 80s costumes,
and
we're going to neon it
everything?
out. Yes, it is.
Well, from my days in the 80s, the one move that got, like, this is where it made me feel cool, was it was fellas only, and they played Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me, and then we skated around in the circles, and if a girl stuck her hand out to high-five you, you knew you were cool. That was official, and I will. There was not many cooler moments in my young days where I felt cooler than the moment where I'm on the skating rink guys only. And I could skate kind of, so I was kind of, bragging, showing off a little bit. I cross over and, kind of look like a, stud.
There you go.
My game was strong. And, the Def Leppard pours some sugar on me. He's going around, and the girl's like, hey, and you give him a high five, or you walk by, like, yeah, I'm cool. So if you want to evoke that memory.
Yes, absolutely.
2
we
weeks.
will have the ladies who taught the class, our instructors, who also do roller derby and all of that. So they're also out there to kind of help you if you want to do some stuff and learn some stuff. So
That's right.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
I guess if you ask real nicely, they'll hip check you like the roller derby.
Yes. We are even going to do what is it when you go underneath the stick?
Oh, the limbo. Oh, yeah.
They left all their equipment, so we're going to do the limbo. It's going to be a fun night.
Short people, this is your game.
Absolutely.
All them 6-footers, you're like, I got this limbo.
Absolutely, yes.
My wife is 4'11". She's the limbo champ.
She doesn't even have to try.
She's like, this ain't hard. Just walking.
Absolutely. So we try to have one evening event each month. So February will be a Valentine's dance.
Okay.
And we're going to have a craft fair coming up, I believe, March or April.
All right.
So that'll be local crafters can come on in, and we'll set some booths up inside.
It'll be springtime, and you're starting to think spring-like things.
Absolutely. So
stay up to date. Just kind of probably the best thing is just periodically check with the Roswell Connect. That way you can always see what's going on. And of course, if you're a regular visiting, you'll always see what's going on there.
Absolutely. I always keep an up-to-date calendar. As soon as something's done, it's off and the next one's on.
And spread the love. Tell everybody. So if you've got friends, maybe you've got some friends that have been kind of, being a little antisocial, being a little shut in, kind of, maybe they're in a funk. It's easy in this world we live in nowadays. Go tap for a visit and say, hey, let's go play some dominoes over at the adult center.
Absolutely.
Let's go do an arts class, or
and
let's
we
go
have
take some
plenty
yoga.
of dominoes and games, board games, cards, all sorts of things. We would love to come and make coffee for you and let you come sit.
Hey, if y'all start like a Mexican train, that's a dominoes game for folks who don't know.
Yes, that's what they used to play.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at Mexican train now. The last couple of years, I got a set at the house, and we've kind of learned how to play it, and so I'm pretty well versed in Mexican train now.
All right.
So
well, you'll have to come out and start our group for us.
That's right. I know it can get a little cutthroat, y'all. I'll behave.
Aw, I think the other guys might enjoy that, though.
Yeah. Oh, I remember I was in the military. We had some friends. We played dominoes, and man, if they got, because they'd slam, turn or shoot, boom, and you're like, wow, the tables rattle. They get into it.
Oh my goodness. Well, they do back in the pool room too, so we're used to that.
Good. Yeah, that's serious business. So. Good deal. Is there anything we want to share that we skipped or missed? Any information or anything?
Let me glance down my sheet.
I know
real
sometimes
quick.
I get talking down rabbit holes.
So if you have been out, we have the pickleball courts that are being done. If anybody has driven by in the last 2 weeks, they'll see the construction out there.
And that's like one of the fastest growing games right now. Pickleball.
It is.
Yeah.
So there's 4 courts going in the little the lot right next to us that has the old arch from the church.
Okay.
That arch will actually be the entrance. They're going to keep that as part of it.
Nice.
2 of the pickleball courts will be covered.
Okay.
2 of them won't. And we will, when it gets up and running, they're hoping to have it done soon enough, but they won't be able to do that last seal until the weather heats up.
Okay.
So springtime will probably be when we do the opening of it.
Okay. But in the meantime, start getting your pickleball rackets and start
we will have
practicing
instructors. We are going to have classes for it and everything. So.
And again, another sport that's for everybody,
Yes.
Yeah, it's very popular with seniors, but it's also catching on with younger crowds. I'm noticing more younger and younger people are picking up pickleball too. And now they're starting to have leagues and tournaments, and it's like becoming like a professional sport now. Or like I remember watching Saturday morning, a couple Saturdays ago, I turned on TV and they had pickleball. It was literally showing like the World Series of pickleball there, and it was pretty. It's a huge sport now.
I worked at the aquatic center before I went over to the adult center, and there was a group that would come in and they would talk about pickleball. They wanted to use the courts. I'm like, what the heck is pickle? I had to YouTube it to find out what it was, and I honestly was so surprised.
Well, and the first time I saw it, I was visiting my in-laws and stuff. They at that time they had a little place down in Mexico or that they used to go and visit, and so we went down there for Christmas one year, and there's a lot of Americans in this area that they're at. It's kind of a retirement community vacation area, and so but the sport was pickleball.
Yes.
And I had never heard of it. I'm like, oh, it's kind of like racquetball, kind of like tennis, And I'm like, okay. So I watched it, and I was having fun. I was like, really cool. But I made I'm a jokey guy, so I was kind of making some bad jokes, not just in jest, and not the room. They looked at me like, what's this comedian doing here? Get out of this serious business. Like, I was like, ooh, you can't joke at pickleball.
No. No.
I learned they did not find my humor funny. I was like, all right, maybe I should leave.
There you go.
But yeah, they were serious into the pickleball.
Yes.
My jokes were not landing. Very good. But if anybody has any questions about anything, again, RoswellConnect.com is the website. Call the Adult Center, 575-924-6718, or come for a visit, 807
Absolutely.
North Missouri, right there. And come see it's been there for you, a long time.
Yes.
People here, it's been that
before the base closed out there. Before
I've been
Walker.
here since 2000, and it's always been
It
there.
was
and
the youth center originally, and then it became a senior center after the base closed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that was late 60s, early 70s
Something
there when
like
that all
that,
wrapped up. Yeah. So come down and visit. Come check it out. Come see the slew of activities here. Come get involved. If you can't find something that's in your wheelhouse there, it's because you're not trying. I
Absolutely.
guarantee there's something for everybody at the Adult Center.
And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we are open till 8.
Very good.
So we do have the late times for people who get off work and want to just go work out a little bit.
Yeah,
we're
work
there.
out or socialize or get a quick game of pool in or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, get in there and come have some fun and come meet new people, make friends. That's the cool part, because I think even if you're not, I'm not doing all the yoga and all that, but once a week I come and play pool, and I got my buddies that I met here, and now so we come and play on certain days, and then our other days, our social day, where we go to the park or we go to a restaurant and have lunch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our video walking ladies, which they are amazing, and literally it's videos, and they just come in and walk to them, different people they have, but once a month, they have their birthday parties for the ladies who have, and so they do that. And on that one day, they have a party instead of doing the video walking.
Good deal.
So yeah, it's a really close knit group, and we would love to have some people come in and join us.
For
make
new,
it bigger,
new faces to
Absolutely.
come be a part, and if your goals for if you're a New Year's resolution person and your goals to be more active and get more involved, the easiest way to stick to this resolution. Come visit the Adult Center.
Absolutely, please.
They'll make it easy to stick to it.
Yes.
Not like, you know what I mean? Because let's face it, we all botch the resolutions. I mean, some of us already have, even though we're 3 days into the new year. Some of us already botched it. So just say it.
Yes.
So, good deal. Did we get it all? Hopes or anything that you want to mention that we missed? Or?
Oh, I was just going to say the video walking class.
Mm-hmm.
Is for the early risers.
Okay.
It's a nice early one. My classes start at 9:30 for those that want to take a little bit
The
of time
sleep-in
before
club.
they yes. And then yoga's at 11, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but in the evenings we have the aerobics and the step aerobics class in the evenings.
Okay.
And then the weight room is open. So
the entire time
one of my
the
step
Adult
aerobics
Center is
girls, her man comes in and works out while she does my class.
Good deal. So you can kind of do it together but separately.
Yes.
So you're like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not into the yoga, but I'll go get a workout in the weight room while you're taking the yoga.
So one
class.
of the ladies works out, and her husband goes and plays pool.
Yes, another one of my step aerobics. Her husband plays in the pool room. Yeah. So there's something for everybody.
And then
there.
at some point in the evening, you all meander together and kind of socialize for a little bit, and then wrap up and go on to your next
Absolutely.
thing. So
And we were talking about her the classes being made for different levels.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have Cecilia's class. Cecilia has an amazing, upbeat, you want to feel like you died at the end of your workout session, feel like that is her class to go
the
to.
one that kind
Cecilia,
of pushes you.
She has a Monday, Wednesday, Friday also at 9.
Okay.
And then on Tuesday, Thursdays, she has an evening class.
You want
You want
to make sure you're tired at the end of that session. That's
Yes.
the one you want to sign up for.
A lot of people remember Mr. Bell or Sergeant Bell, who used to run classes there like crazy. Her class is very compares to his.
Sergeant Bell-like.
Yes, absolutely. So
very cool. So if you want your butt kicked, that can happen too. But if you want to dip a toe, we got you covered
yes,
too.
we got you on all ends.
So butt kicking to dipping toes, we
Yes.
got you at the Adult Center. So very good. Well, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We need to get you back in here like monthly or so.
That would be amazing.
Just to talk, just to keep people. Hey, don't forget we're starting these classes this month or whatever.
At least every 6 weeks, when a week before the classes start, just to remind people to come on in. That
Absolutely.
would be great.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Just let folks know and again, come see this great treasure in your own backyard. We got, we talk about these amazing amenities and things, and yes, the Roswell Recreation Aquatic Center has so many things, but there's other stuff going on that you could set foot in that building and do a bunch of city stuff and not technically set foot in the Recreation Aquatic Center. So please don't forget the other stuff. So,
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys, and Happy New Year.
You too.
All right. It is 8:55. This morning's flying already. Let's
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
A school shooting in Perry, Iowa. Police say multiple people were injured in that shooting at the city's high school. It was